time from far away to share a love of the game.
Welcome to the Pokemon World Championship 2024.
Come on, my, it's time to go. Come on, my, it's time to go. Come on, my, it's time to go. Come on, my, and let the games begin.
It's going to be Giratina up a shield, the signature Pokemon of inadequacy, but it's not enough. It's official. Congratulations to Yakai as your 2024 Pokemon GO World Champion.
Battle can do whatever they want. They're going straight forward. It's stunned in the middle. Who's going to go for the secure? Race so low. Who's going to get it? It's going to be taken by Fennel. It's going to be taken by Fennel. Our champions, Fennel!
One final count, as careful as possible in this highest of stakes moment. This is what Sakuya needs in order to become the Pokemon TCG Juniors Division World Champion.
Giratina V-Star, a pivotal card here in the Regidrago deck. Lost Impact, we're gonna see 2 energy go to the Lost Zone here, but that's gonna take the knockout on that Gardevoir EX here, and that's the game. Evan Pavelski is your senior champion here in 2024 at our World Championships.
Is there anything in the deck that can get us? There's 1, maybe 2 energy. Is there an attacker? Is there a switch? We are thinking. Just going to conclude that Earthen Vessel. And there is Fernando Cifuentes is your 2024 Pokémon Trading Card Game World Champion.
The grass and bug types on the field right now are not threatened by super effective damage. Draco Meteor lands into Iron Treads. It's going to be more than enough for the KO. That's the forfeit. And Kevin Hahn throughout the season has proved he's the best junior in the world. EUIC champion, NAIC champion, and now world champion in the juniors division for the Pokemon video game.
Trying to make sure that you can outdamage your opponent, not take too much as Thunderbolt into the Vergraph, more than enough to bring Luke down to final Pokemon. And with the support of 1 and the only move of choice being this foul play, does Luke have enough to close this out? Instead, the forfeit's locked in, and with that, Rei Yamanaka is gonna be your Pokemon World Champion here in the Seniors Division. The Electro Drift into this Iron Valiant is going to be enough to secure the knockout here. You see the headset come off, and Yuta knows this might just be all she wrote. This Pelipper, the last bastion of hope here for Yuta to try to get through this game, but the rain has stopped. The protection is gone here for this Grass-type Pelipper, and as we see the forfeit locked in, we're going to see Luca Terravelli become your 2024 Pokemon World Champion.
After winning the World Championships, really I haven't still kicked in how much these things mean for me.
世界大会を優勝できないと思っていたので、とても驚いているし嬉しいです。
I'm feeling very happy that I won Worlds. I did not believe in myself after day 1, but my brother pushed me through it.
世界取ったぞ！最高です。優勝できたからです。
我感觉非常的开心、兴奋以及自豪。
下位チャンピオンになって、あまり実感はないんですが、すごいことをしたなっていう気持ちがあります。感謝したい人は、ここまで連れてきてくれた家族と練習を付き合ってくれた父です。
right now I'm feeling very good. After this, you know, I'm going to show up the Worlds next year since I got my auto invite and to see how that goes.
Realmente bien, no sé cómo explicarlo, se siente increíble.
Aloha, Pokemon trainers! This is Will Dunphy. The 2024 World Championships took our breath away. Let's take a look back at the epic competition in Hawaii. Trainers from across the globe touched down on Oahu's sun-kissed sands, ready to battle it out for the title of Pokemon GO World Champion. Inadequance displayed incredible skill and resilience with his signature core of Wigglytuff and Giratina origin form.
Inadequate says no, no, no.
While Yakai sliced through the winner's bracket with his Skarmory.
Skarmory fires off the Sky Attack, looking for the Steel Wing down.
Fans cheered as Marto Galde and his Whimsicott charmed spectators both far and wide.
Marto making trophy moves!
After an incredible day 2 of heart-stopping battles, only 2 trainers remained standing on Championship Sunday. The Hong Kong hero Yakai took to the stage, met by the do-it-all Dutchman Inadequance. Our 2024 Grand Finals were officially underway. In Game 1, Yakai Skarmory caught Inadequance's Wigglytuff out of position, giving Yakai the momentum that he needed to turn the tide of the battle. In Game 2, Yakai made a thrilling swap into his Charjabug, clearing the way for his Skarmory to fire the Brave Bird and claim a Game 2 victory. In Game 3, Inadequance's Poliwrath toppled Yakai's Skarmory, and he gained additional ground by pivoting to Clodsire. Yakai eventually succumbed to Wigglytuff, giving Inadequance his first win of the series. In Game 4, Inadequance would send his Skarmory to face Yakai's Skarmory, and that choice would eventually align Giratina origin form against Lickitung, giving Yakai his decisive victory in the Grand Finals.
And it's official! Congratulations to Yakai as your 2024 Pokemon GO World Champion!
Yakai became our Pokemon GO World Champion, a storybook ending for his 2024 season. A brand new chapter of the Championship Series is set to begin. Write your own Championship Series story by going to Pokemon.com/compete, and we'll see you on Victory Road.
Over 1,900 TCG competitors across 3 age divisions gathered in Honolulu, Hawaii for the Pokemon World Championships. But only 1 junior, 1 senior, and 1 master were able to earn the privilege of traveling home with the title of World Champion. In the junior division, Logan Bailey from the USA piloted an Iron Thorns EX deck with its disruptive initialization ability to the finals match. But Sakuya Ota's Ancient Box deck put out too much damage and would eventually lead to this young Japanese player's victory. In the senior division, Haruku Umehara brought Gardevoir EX its best performance this year with a finals appearance, but Evan Pavelski with his Regidrago V-Star deck used the attacks of Dragapult EX, Hisuian Gudra V-Star, and Kyurem to lock down the win. The stage was set for a Masters Division match. The battle featured 2 players, both only 17 years of age. Fernando Cifuentes from Chile had chosen Iron Thorns EX as his deck for this event. And Shinosuke Shiokawa from Japan played Roaring Moon EX, featuring the brand new Pecharunt EX as well. Neither of these decks were extremely popular during the event, but that didn't stop these 2 finals competitors from believing in their chances to hoist that Pikachu trophy. In Game 1, Shinosuke was able to take the first KO and found himself in a promising position. But despite a few failed crushing hammers, Fernando was able to find a line to give himself a shot. Eventually, a top deck of an energy card would secure Fernando's final attack and the win in Game 1. The second game was very back and forth, but Shinosuke introduced an interesting new strategy, KOing his own Pokemon. Even though this may seem counterproductive to winning a game, it turns out this was his best way to ensure a Game 2 win and send our final match to Game 3. In the final game, Fernando was able to disrupt Shinosuke just enough through Crushing Hammer to ensure his Iron Thorns would remain healthy for as long as possible. In the end, Shinosuke was left with just a single Roaring Moon in play with no energy cards, and Fernando Cifuentes took that final KO and became the world champion.
Going to conclude that Earthen Vessel.
And there is the hand!
Fernando Cifuentes is your 2024 Pokémon Trading Card Game World Champion!
These players have cemented themselves in Pokémon TCG history, and you too could be part of that. Be sure to check out Pokemon.com/compete and begin your journey today.
The 2024 Pokémon UNITE World Championships was the most competitive tournament UNITE has ever seen. 26 teams from around the world traveled to Honolulu, Hawaii to represent their regions and compete for the title of World Champion. On day one, teams were placed into 8 different groups and were competing for the top 2 spots to make it into day 2. The competition kicked off with a bang in the group stage, and expectations were blown out of the water. The metagame was turned on its head when Pokemon like Zeraora and Mamoswine made some early appearances. Pokemon compositions were not the only surprises in day 1 though. Last year's world champions Luminosity Gaming were eliminated, Nouns Esports led the charge for Europe, and Asia Pacific and Japan showcased some dominant Pokemon UNITE. At the end of day 1, 16 teams were qualified, but there was no time to rest. Day 2 was a single elimination top 16 bracket. Every match played was a win or go home scenario. The one team everyone in the bracket feared was Fennel from Japan, and it turns out that fear was justified. Matches all across the event were full of nail-biter finishes and last-second heroics, but when it came to Fennel, everyone could tell. They were watching future champions play. The grand finals was Fennel versus Zora Tigers Gaming from Korea. A new region was going to win the championship no matter what. The match was full of highlight moments, many of them showcasing Fennel's signature aggressive playstyle and beautiful teamwork. In the end, they emerged victorious and brought home Japan's first Pokemon UNITE World Championship trophy.
Think you have what it takes? Make sure to visit start.gg/Pokemon Unite so your team can be a part of the journey as well.
The 2024 World Championships in Honolulu set the bar as the biggest World Championships in the video game yet. All the new faces were in attendance from all around the globe with a determination to become the next Pokemon World Champion. Ice Rider Calyrex was victorious in the final event of Regulation G before the World Championships, but it was its counterpart Shadow Rider who was tipped to be the one to watch in Honolulu. Lee Provost here to take you through all the action. In the juniors division, Kevin Han faced Tatsuomi Shimanuki. After game 1, Kevin's confidence in Calyrex prevailed as Tatsuomi's Rillaboom went down to a well-timed Glacial Lance when Zamazenta chose not to wide guard. Seniors finalists Luke Kroll and Rei Yamanaka were up next and didn't disappoint with a ferocious battle. Game 1 saw Rei overpower Luke's team with a nasty plot boosted Shadow Rider Calyrex, but things fell apart in Game 2 for Rei as a surprise Dark Terrestrialization from Luke's Farigiraf was enough to tie up the set with a devastating foul play. In the end though, Rei and their Shadow Rider galloped to victory to become our 2024 Seniors World Champion. Familiar faces from worlds past opened the show, but in the Masters final, it was the new trainers on the block that ended it. Yuta Ishigaki and Luca Cherubelli took the stage for our Masters final. Calyrex Ice Rider and Miraidon went head-to-head to decide which restricted was number 1. Flames were ablaze, engines engaged, and a drive to victory was detected for Luca Cherubelli, who took a Game 3 after a troublesome Trick Room to become our 2024 Pokemon World Champion.
And as we see the court fit locked in, we're gonna see Luca Cherubelli become your 2024 Pokemon World Champion!
These players have secured their place in Pokemon history, and now it's your turn. Be sure to check out Pokemon.com/compete and begin your journey today.
Pokemon fans, trainers, and communities from around the world, are you ready to see who will be the next Pokemon World Champion?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 World Championships preview show. It's been a long journey, and it seems to have gone by in the blink of an eye. My name is Adam Watson, joined by Rachel Seltzer. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm great. I'm so excited. We've been covering this all year long at our international championships, and now we've finally come to the massive conclusion for 2025. And as you said, it's going to be bigger and better than ever this year.
This has been a monumental season for Pokemon. I think that we can say it over and over again. It just keeps getting bigger and better, and it's all thanks to our audience at home. And there's so many new things to look forward to at this particular celebration, the World Championships. They've already announced that they have so many Pokemon artists coming in to sign your favorite Pokemon cards, and that's going to be a great event. I'm an artist myself, and that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, in addition to all the competitions that are going on at the World Championships, they've got a lot for attendees to get into. We've got individual activities that they can participate in, lots of panels. The artists, as you said, I know a ton of content creators have been posting and saying that they're going to be there. And also, we're going to get a preview of it at the end of the show today. But there's the World Championship album that came out, and I'm so excited to see all the performers bring that to life as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned after this preview show broadcast for that listening party. I can't wait to get hyped with everybody in the audience today. But there is a little bit more we can show off for our folks before we get into our broadcast today. We have some expert panelists and interviews to set the stage for the metagame and what to expect on the competitive side. But I want to point out the beautiful swag that we've got. Every World Championships has exclusive items, folks. We've got some of them laid out here on the table. So if you have the fortunate potential to go to Anaheim, visit the Pokemon Center, pick up some of these beautiful items for yourself, and share and keep those memories, right? It's part of your collection.
Yeah, keep the memories or send the memories to me. I love a complete collection of everything that comes out of Worlds. I know, I think there's signups online ahead of time to get some slots at the Pokemon Center if you plan to do some shopping. Of course, our competitors, everyone that's showing up gets a nice little bag of supplies as well, but there's so much to get your hands on here, and I think these are some of the most special. The little statuettes that you see and the bucket hats, super cute. What's your favorite?
I'm looking at the tote bag, honestly. I love how every World Championships has custom designs and items that fit the theme of that location. Today's Pokemon competitions are big, but in Anaheim, it's going to be even bigger and better. I love that Letterman jacket Pikachu.
And this is almost escaping as part of the background. That's a full-on boogie board, is that not?
Oh my goodness, they're really pulling out all the stops for this one, Rachel.
Oh, I love it. I love the look and the style, of course, for this year's World Championship. I think, is it on the backpack? Hold it up. Is that Meowth driving a convertible? They literally put me on the bag. That's my car and everything. I love it. I'm so happy to see it.
So make sure you pick up one of these amazing backpacks if you can while supplies last, but a fortunate select few will be able to enjoy the Pokemon Center and all of these great goodies. But we've also got goodies for our viewers tuning into this broadcast as well. We're going to have more details coming up about Twitch drops and distribution codes, so make sure that you pay attention closely to this broadcast and also tune in to the stream when the time comes. And to kick off our show, Rachel, it's going to be Pokemon UNITE, and our expert who is always here joining us and setting the stage, we've got Zoinks on the mic. What is up, my friend? Welcome back.
Feels good to be back. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited. Another year, another World Championships, and this one looks incredible. So I'm so excited.
And I guess to kick things off, what are your general thoughts about the season for Pokemon UNITE so far? There's been such huge competition, so many upsets, but what has been the storyline for you personally as we started off the season and now we're about to conclude?
Yeah, I mean, storylines have been pretty wild throughout the year. Obviously, I'd say one of the most exciting ones was following a team from the West in Luminosity Gaming in North America, who went on to win all 3 international championships this year. They also, a little bit of a history lesson, have won the World Championships twice out of the 3 possible times. So they're looking pretty great this year, hunting for the three-peat, of course, but there is a lot of incredible teams. With as good as LG is, a lot of people are considering a lot of teams coming out of Japan and APAC specifically as maybe the best in the biz this season. So we have a fiercely competitive World Championships in Anaheim coming up very soon.
I do love, I think, over the last couple years, right, Zoinks, that, you know, certain regions began to show that early dominance, and we had a beautiful clash of international competition this year and last, and it seems that every team has gotten stronger because of that experience.
Totally. Yeah, it's been a huge leveling up, I think, throughout the years. I think if you look back at those first years, while the competition was really intense, like it looks like a totally different game, going from London to Yokohama to Honolulu and now into Anaheim. We're truly just going to be entering yet another gear for competitive Pokemon Unite, which is so exciting, and I can't wait, but it is really cool to see kind of the fruits of all these teams' labors paying off.
They fought tooth and nail in order to qualify for the World Championships, and now they're going to throw down for this final prize pool and figure out if they can take down their groups.
Yeah, it is a huge prize pool available.
Huge prize pool available. We got a hint of what they're fighting for here, and I think we got a graphic that shows all the teams that have qualified distributed into their groups thus far. I don't think there's one of those that isn't a little bit frightening to be a part of, but Zoinks, you're bringing the keen eye to this.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at these groups. We have 8 groups. We're one of the, I think one of the only titles that is played at the Pokemon World Championships where this is kind of determined before the tournament begins, so teams get a quick chance to look at their competition and who they're facing. But yeah, as soon as this draw happens, the community online discussion always surrounds what is the strongest group, scariest group, whatever you want to call it. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Group E for looking like maybe one of the most competitive groups, just really hard to predict who's going to be coming out of that one. However, I think a lot of huge storylines in Group G. One of the biggest tournaments we have during the year is called the Asia Champions League, a tournament specifically held in Asia for a lot of those regions to compete. Well, the winner of that tournament and the finalists, the runner-up, are both in Group G, in High Five and Insomnia. So we get a rematch of the finals of Asia Champions League in group stage. And then the Brazil squad, Criosto Jake, who I do believe has renamed to Team Force since this draw happened, but they also had an incredible tournament performance, getting second place at LAIC. So a ton of really high tournament finishers hanging out in that group. I think E and G are going to be must-watches come broadcast day.
The fact that they can settle the score so early in the tournament is really good for our viewers. They can get some action right up front, but you know, as content creators and casters, we always love the storylines to cook and build up as much as possible before we break glass in case of emergency and get that final hype moment, but it's going to be great regardless. For Team Insomnia, I'd like, if you would, to kind of break down perhaps a little bit more as to why this is such an important team in Group G to watch.
Yeah, Insomnia is coming from Japan, so already that region is the current holders of the World Championship title when Fennel won it last year. However, you may notice Fennel not going to be attending this year's World Championships, failed to qualify in their own regional competition, so obviously the competition in Japan is so incredibly fierce. Insomnia as well had a bit of a stumble in the regional competition, but had already earned their world spot in that Asia Champions League final win. This team took the world by storm a little bit in that championship match and gained a lot of fans for their completely off-the-wall picks. Like, this team was playing bizarre Pokemon, bizarre held items equipped to these Pokemon. A Rocky Helmet Gyarados was the highlight of much discussion when this team was playing, and not to mention the support Phalanx. We have a very important held item in Pokemon Unite called the EXP share, which lowers your own amount of EXP just slightly, but gives it to whoever you're playing nearby. And Phalanx, normally a damage-dealing Pokemon, picking that up, supporting the team, and kind of there to help counter a lot of the critical hit Pokemon on the other side, like Absolon and Teleon, worked fantastically. And not for nothing, this team might have some of the best stage presence I've ever seen in a Pokemon Unite team. Every time the camera was on them, everybody watching at home was cackling and smiling. Like, they have so many fun bits. Just, I don't know how to pitch it any better than just watch this team at Worlds. Whether it's in-game or out of game, they are the most entertaining squad we may have ever seen in Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, Pokemon Unite's just an entertaining game in general, and I always love to hear, Zoinks, about teams continuing to innovate. We see so many teams rise to prominence because of their teamwork and clean play, but innovating on held items and picks is another huge part of Pokemon Unite's gameplay.
Yeah, and speaking of a team that has really kept at the forefront of that to grand success, perhaps even as we approach this World's to Triple Crown success, you got another team for us to look at, don't you?
Yeah, so let's hop back over to the other side of the world, though. Team that'll be playing on home turf for this tournament in Anaheim will be Luminosity Gaming. Like I mentioned in the kind of intro segment, 3 international championship titles to their name. It was a record never before set in Pokemon history to win all 3 international championships in any game. And then TCG Senior broke that record literally hours later, but they did achieve that incredible achievement first, and we're not letting that go through our fingers. So Luminosity Gaming looking really, really strong. This team obviously has a lot of storied history. They've had accomplishments not just this year, but going back farther and farther. Last year's World Championships, a bit of a blemish on their record. So this is going to be an awesome chance for them to bounce back, kind of write the narrative around this Luminosity Gaming squad. And already everyone considers them to be incredibly strong, but I'm of the opinion if this team can win this World Championships, I don't know if greatest of all time discussion is even going to be much of a debate anymore. I think this team has the ability to lock it down if they can win this year's Worlds.
I know, because even before this preview show started, Rachel and I were still kind of reminiscing about the interview we had during the last preview show with Slash and how confident and hungry Luminosity was going into that tournament, and just seeing all that hard work and improvement in their communication pay off big.
Yeah,
it's been incredible.
To hear the thought that went into building that team. Every year we check in, actually every tournament we check in with you, Zoinks, it seems like Unite has moved to the next level. So seeing them level up year over year, competition over competition, I cannot wait to see what these teams bring to Worlds. And as you said, there's a lot more contenders than just Luminosity in the mix. Some have stronger records than others, but you've got another team for us to look at as well.
Yeah, I mentioned Luminosity Gaming flawless at all 3 international championships, but they did play at one LAN outside of the IC events, and that was the Asia Champions League. And there they found the only team to beat them in a match this year on LAN was High Five. They're going by that name now for this tournament. At this point in time, their team was named Alter Ego, but a bit of a name switch. This team finally cracked the code. They found a way to beat Luminosity Gaming at an in-person tournament. A lot of people thought it might be an impossibility this year, but this team was able to pull it off. Where Insomnia is really well known for their incredibly creative strategies and kind of their little micro points, High Five does have some off the beaten path strategies, if you want to call it that, but it really does feel like their creativity is found in their execution. This team doesn't take team fights in the more standard ways. They are playing really aggressively. They have a superstar central area player in Shingdi, who I think a lot of people might consider to be the best central area player, potentially globally, that can just start fights, finish fights, whatever you need them to pull off. It feels like they're ready for the task. So this team, they are going to be hard to prepare for, and I think that this team has been hard in preparation to see if they can get that repeat win against LG.
I think that's absolutely true. You have these teams that come together as a 5, and sometimes a team will have an ace that seems to kind of bring everyone together and rally the forces. We actually had a chance to interview one of the players from the High Five squad, so I want to kick it over there, and hopefully we can get a little bit more insight into this team's prep for Worlds. Hey everyone, we're joined for our Unite segment by a special player. We've got Ice from Team High Five. How you doing, my friend? Introduce yourself to the people.
Nice to meet you, Adam. Hi guys, I'm Ice from Team High Five, and I come from the APAC region. Recently, I got 2nd place in the Asia Champions League in Japan, and I'm very excited to be here for the interview.
Yeah, actually, Ice, let's get right into it. Your team got the opportunity to play in one of Pokemon Unite's first ever professional leagues in the Asia Champions League this year. So what was that experience like for you and your team, and kind of the growth of the scene overall there?
In Japan, Pokemon Unite is pretty big, so there's a lot of fans. I even got ganked when going to the toilet by the fans, so that's a very unique experience. Personally, beating Luminosity Gaming, a team who got 3 ICs in the West, is a very surreal experience for us, because it proves to me that we are good and we definitely have the talent to get first in World Champion in WCS. And being in Asia Champions League, being a professional league, it's a very fun experience personally to me. It's very stressful, but it's very fun. And getting to see all the fans, especially those Japanese fans, it's a very heartwarming experience to me, knowing that there are people who like how I play and support what I do.
Now, I'm really happy that you brought up your win versus Luminosity, because you are one of the only teams to do it. I think the only team to beat them in an in-person event like this. When you were going up against Luminosity, was it stressful or was it just business as usual? Did they really give you a run for your money?
I wouldn't say it's business as usual, but my team did previously fought Luminosity in the previous Worlds, so I wouldn't say it's very stressful. I just say it's like slightly more troublesome than the usual match. We just knew that we were the underdogs and we had no reason to like be scared of losing. We just need to prove ourselves and prove our worth and take them down. And also there were a few Japanese people who told us that we had the only chance left to stop them from going to Worlds, from getting to the finals again. So yeah, it was a fun experience. And I'm close friends with all the Luminosity people, so there's no bad blood. And I always hang out with them after international event.
Yeah, as I understand it, you're a pretty social guy. You know a lot of the players on the other teams, a lot of the commentators. So now you're gearing up, you're getting ready to go for Worlds. Who are you looking forward to hanging out with there?
I'm usually hang out with Luminosity after the event with some karaoke. We usually get to sing our hearts out. I'm excited to hang out with the people from basically everyone in the West, because getting to meet people, it's like meeting them every year, and getting to meet new faces is really very fun to. It's a very fun event. It's a very fun experience, and getting to meet people of different cultures, but we all have the common, common ground of liking Pokemon. Such a surreal thing, you know.
All right, you laid it out there, so I have to ask you, what's your karaoke jam? What are you singing up there on the mic?
I'm usually more comfortable singing Chinese songs or Mandarin songs. Other than that, any English songs, probably the Bruno Mars songs or I don't know. I'm sorry.
Everybody has their favorites, and it's always a good time when you're gathered with your friends like that at a Pokemon event. And since you're on such good terms with the other players, have you been able to maybe share some pointers and prepare for this tournament, or have you been focused purely on Team High Five and what you can do to be better?
Usually before big events like this, I would like to reach out to people of other regions, ask for what's their thoughts on the current meta, and then I'll share some of my thoughts, because it's not fair for them to just share their thoughts. And this way, I get a better read of the international meta, and then I get to share these tips with my team, and then we can get like a whole team vibe for it. Like, do we agree? Do we disagree? And then we form our own thoughts before we play or before we prep the draft and everything.
Okay, so a lot of cooperation there, and it seems like you put in a lot of time and effort, especially with, you know, your team's underdog energy you touched on a little bit earlier before. But are there other teams from the APAC region you think have a really strong shot at Worlds this year?
Personally, to me, I think Onyx Rise, who got third in the last year Worlds, is still very strong, even though they changed one player. And I think you guys can expect good Paper Rex this year as well. So for me, the top three teams are us, High Five, Rise, and Paper X.
And what are you guys doing in the run-up to Worlds to prepare yourselves? What's practice like?
Usually for my team, we scrim around every night, at least 4 hours of scrims or 3 hours of scrims. And then we have practice for another 1 to 2 hours. And then we get to talk about draft for 1 hour, like 30 minutes to 1 hour per day.
Okay. I like that you're just putting in that dedicated practice. Of course, it makes a lot of sense to compete at this level. Are you just doubling down on your current Pokemon pool and what you like to draft, or is your team maybe exploring some new options? What is the strategy, would you say, overall for High Five?
I think before last week or 2 weeks prior, we were trying a lot of new stuff. We were trying out like new metas, new reads, new thoughts, trying out different country stuff. But this week, I told them we should focus on ourselves, focus on what we think is good, and if anything comes up, we'll just prepare for it then.
And tell me a little bit more about your role on the team. You play defense support, but what do you do when it comes to speaking up in the group? Are you often sharing new strategies or observations, or do you follow a particular teammate, or do you kind of all throw ideas in?
I think on my team, I'm very fortunate to have a very big say on what we should play, how we should play, and my teammates respect me enough to respect my opinion, and they take what I say into account. They take what I say deep into thought. So I'm very fortunate to have that. But on my team, we take everyone's opinion into account, and we try and get everyone to be comfortable saying what they think is good, what we think is good, and then we will discuss it before we give some final say. But I would say I'm part of the two big major opinions of the team.
That's great to hear. I know that it's a collaborative effort, and I'm glad that they do respect you as a teammate, and I'm sure that's going to shine through on the big stage.
Yeah, that's a great competitive environment to take to a competition as big as Worlds. What's kind of the mood on the team overall as you're looking to travel together, have this experience together, maybe have some fun times, and really then, wow, go into competition together?
I think our mindset going to Worlds is that we'll take things one step at a time. We'll focus on who we're facing, what we should do for the next day, sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's kind of an open-ended question that I asked. I know you guys are really focused on mindset and the tournament, but kind of like, what's the conversational mood, in the lead up?
Okay. Sorry.
No.
I think the mindset or the lead up towards Worlds is everyone's gonna try their best for the competition and also have a fun time because most of us have been to Worlds before. Only one of our teammates haven't been to Worlds before. We're gonna guide him. We're gonna bring him to the Pokemon, Pokemon Center. Get him to get all the Worlds exclusive stuff. Show him all the cool experiences that you don't usually get in the Japan. You can only get during the Worlds event, and then after that, we'll just focus on the competition.
I like that you still have the time to treat Pokemon Worlds as a fun event with other Pokemon fans and not just a competition. When you are gathered up with your teammates and you're going to this big tournament, there's going to be a lot on the line. What would it mean for you to win the World Championships? Have you even thought that far ahead?
I definitely thought of this when I'm showering or like daydreaming or something, but I think the first thing I'm going to do if I win is going to say World Champ difference because I watch a lot of Goofy VGC. I think that's very cool. Other than that, I didn't think much into it. I'll just be very happy and then be very proud of myself probably and think all the effort is worth it. But other than that, I'll just see how it goes.
Well, we've got so much to look forward to watching your team compete, you guys enjoying the fun of travel, and of course all the smiling faces that are going to greet you in Anaheim. But is there anything you want to say to everyone watching now before we say goodbye?
I'm very blessed to get an interview from Pokemon, and it's thanks to all the fans and family and friends who watch us and support me and my team. We couldn't have done it without you guys, for sure. And I hope we can give a good showing during the Pokemon Worlds.
I hope so for you as well. It sounds like you've really put the work in. So thank you so much, Ice, for coming on to talk to us.
Nice to meet you, Rachel and Adam. And thank you.
Yeah, great interview with Ice there. A lot of fantastic nuggets of wisdom just going into the mindset of the team and the prep. And he seems, pretty calm and relaxed, actually, with everything considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't expect him to be like one of our veteran players, the way he talks about it, but you just get to see that approach he has towards the game, the meta game, how he leads his team and everything. He's been at every World Championship since the beginning and had a very, very successful career so far. Feels like the only thing missing out of that resume is a World Championship, well, a World Champ difference that he's hunting for, so...
With the World Champ diff, hopefully it will bless him. I mean, if you're studying up on Pokemon and not just thinking about the competition, but just the love of the game, celebrating with your competitors, going out for karaoke afterwards, no matter what is going to happen or who's going to win, it's going to be a party either way. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a meme, but the friends you make along the way really are the best prize at the end of the day. And I love to talk to our competitors and hear how much they're embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's so much to look forward to at the World Championships, as you said.
And we can perhaps dig a little bit deeper into the meta game for Pokemon Unite, but I am actually getting an update from production folks. I misspoke earlier. We have a ton of artists coming to visit with fans and autograph and do signings, but you aren't going to get your card signed. They are going to provide the materials, probably posters and things of that nature. So don't be disappointed when they don't want to sign what you bring. They're going to make sure they sign what they want to. So just clarifying that for the folks. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. We're going to talk about the Unite metagame with Zoinks.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do have listed up here on the whiteboard a little bit. I have Unite metagame. I have a graph based on their pick/ban rate / their win rate. I'm focusing on a lot of Pokemon with very strong win rates, as you can see going into this event. One of the newest Pokemon that we have added to the game, newest one is Latios, by the way, just got added today. If you want to go try that Pokemon out, it's very fun. But Latios as an attacker is going to be one of those Pokemon that is skyrocketing on both the pick and the ban rate, as well as Suicune. I have listed kind of in the exact same rate. That Pokemon, at least in the West, is incredibly well known for being a dominant Pokemon, potentially the best in its role, because it can flex so much. I think Snorlax and Ho-Oh are going to be maybe the most contested defenders or tank Pokemon that we're going to see in that situation. And then Armarouge and Zarina, I have down here as two other Pokemon to be watching for very high win rate percentages. However, that's another deviation where the East, or a lot of the Japan, APAC, Korea teams love playing a lot of Zarina, but in the West, it feels like we're leaning into some other Pokemon options like Suicune or even Armarouge. So definitely an interesting difference between these two sides of the world, but that's what's so fun about the World Championships. We get to see my graph absolutely collide in on itself, so I'm pumped.
I noticed a lot of wiggles in those lines there. Very intuitive visual graph.
Thank you so much.
In the third act, Ho-Oh seems to have hockey stick there a little bit. What accounted for that?
Okay, so I'm glad you called that out, because I actually did think about that. I do think that Ho-Oh is going to have an interesting tournament parabola. I think I used that word correctly. No one check it. I'm pretty sure that Pokemon near the start of the tournament will be impactful. A lot of people will just be kind of banning it outright. But I think as the tournament metagame starts to develop, it will be one of those Pokemon that will fall through the cracks. I think it will be picked quite a bit. I don't think it'll be banned too often. However, when we start getting into the top 16, top 8 conversations in day 2, I think that Pokemon's worth is going to get too strong, even. Potentially, people will be like, come full circle on it, and we'll be back on the permaban train. That's my, reading the magic ball crystal kind of situation on Ho-Oh.
The idea, right, of as you get deeper into the competition, you want to start target banning against certain teams or certain players, and you aren't able to give up that ban for Ho-Oh, and you have to try to counter pick it. Is there enough teams you think that Ho-Oh is going to be playable on? Have they prepped with it, or is this a regional Pokemon that's going to favor one side of the globe versus the other?
I think this will be a global Pokemon. I think it is so phenomenal. Did receive some recent buffs in a balance patch to the point where this Pokemon is playable as that EXP share wearing defender. However, we do have a long history of a lot of tank Pokemon filling more damage-oriented roles in some more kind of run-at-them-esque strategies. And I think Ho-Oh might be a big enabler in a rush-down composition like that.
No, it's tanking at me.
Yes, exactly. The reverse of that whole thought process can be difficult to deal with, and when you have a Unite move that can bring back your fainted teammates, it is pretty strong. So I think this Pokemon will see quite a bit of play.
And Ho-Oh giveth life, but Ho-Oh taketh away as well. It's exciting to see the tournament meta evolve, as Zoinks called out too. Not just the seasonal meta, but once these teams really get in there, that's what makes the tournament so exciting to watch. And each of those groups that we pointed out before is going to have its own mix as well. And really, we're so lucky to have you, Zoinks, and the incredible casting team to really break that down, because it is one of the most fun and intricate tournaments to watch over the course of the World Championships.
And I am also thankful for our viewers at home as well, because if you're tuning into the broadcast, we do have some drops that you can get for Pokemon Unite, so check these out here. They do change from day to day, so you have to catch multiple days of the competition and the stream. Don't just show up for the championship. Show up and see the storyline build itself and really enjoy the full scope of the Unite casters and what they have to offer.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, please tune into the broadcast. These drops are really cool. We can get a Murkrow Platinum emblem. This Platinum emblem will be debuting in-game with these Switch drops, so it's a great chance to pick that up. And not to mention, it's just a great time to log into the game, so let these be an incentive to it, but it's also the Pokemon Unite's 4th anniversary right now, so it truly could not be any better time to pick up the game, start trying it again if you haven't, and then get to check out the best players in the entire globe playing the game at the World Championships and very shortly.
Absolutely, and it's not just the Twitch drops we have. We also have some items that can be claimed as well.
Yeah, that's true. We have the second day of Twitch drops you saw there for a moment. And then, of course, this is going to be a distribution. It's very fun to customize your player cards at Pokemon Unite. You can put a few stickers on there. And you can add the World Championships 2025 sticker if you do pick this up. You will be a code given during the broadcast that you'll have to enter in. So be tuned into the broadcast to find out what that code is so you can get your sticker.
Yeah, people love to show off their swag, especially years and years from now. You'll be able to look back on this tournament, this competition, this broadcast and say, oh yeah, I was there. I was in the audience when insert your favorite team here.
Yeah, I was like, are you going to say Luminosity right now? Because there's a lot of contenders. We just talked about it.
Whoever's got the storyline has my vote. I go where the story is. Amen.
Cheer for good games.
That's true. And if you're interested in that kind of thing too, we don't have a specific graphic for that, but we do have a World Championship event going on in the game right now that you can pick who you think will be the top 3 finishers in the World Championships, and the closer you are, the better rewards you get. So check that out too in game. It'd be pretty cool.
And if you're following along, you're rooting for your favorite team, you're seeing all these fantastic moments throughout the season, I guess I want to ask you, Zoinks, what has been some of your favorite moments throughout the season? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, gosh, being here with you guys in the pre-show. Just getting to spend time here.
You're going to pay Pablo for that later, right?
Yeah, no, it's the Pokemon GO tournament. No, I have loved my favorite moment of the year for sure was I think the Asia Champions League finals. It was such an exciting tournament. Tournaments in Japan truly feel on another level sometimes. We had a full crowd for a full weekend of tournament. It was a blast to watch. It was just really special to be there in a unique capacity of the broadcast, and then getting to see some teams qualify for the World Championships very early. There's just so many amazing things. It was hard not to pick this one. I think it's my favorite of the year.
The Team Insomnia, just putting their foot down for the Asia Champions League. Very exciting to see. And as you talked about earlier, right, just their teamwork and innovation, so important to continue to drive the scene forward and to strengthen their region as a whole.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are already considering Japan to be the strongest region playing in this World Championships. Insomnia are a huge part of that. I think this team, even if they didn't perform as strong as the recent regional competition, they're just too good to ignore. Winning the Asia Champions League is worth so much street cred, if you will. So I do think this team is gonna have a lot to say at this World Championships.
I'm excited to see them play. I'm excited to see all these teams play, Zoinks, especially with the breakdowns you've given us on what to watch for from each of the best. Are there any other final thoughts you'd like to share with us?
I don't think so, other than I'll just reiterate one more time. Great time to log into the game. Latios is out now. Latios just got added into Pokemon Unite. And you can start getting ready to know what you're going to be watching at the World Championships in just a week from now. That's crazy to say, actually.
It's right around the corner, and then we got to crown our new world champions, and then they're going to get right back on the grind to decide who's the best. Even when you win that competition, it seems like you're never on top for long, and that's always the best part about Unite, is it always seems like there's a new underdog that's ready to take the crown.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zoinks, for checking in with us. And of course, we will be back with you later on at the end of the show for Q&A and some hot takes. But for now, I'll leave you and your whiteboard to chill, and we'll head on to covering some Pokemon GO. Are you ready?
Let's jump right into Pokemon GO.
And GO is right there.
But who is breaking it down for us? We've got none other than Sophia. Welcome in, Sophia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, Sophia. You're covering Pokemon GO. It's been a long and wild year of Pokemon GO competition. Break it down for us. Sum it up. What has the season been like this past year?
It's actually been really interesting from both a player point of view as well as for Pokemon, because in terms of players, it's our 4th season now and really our 3rd complete season. And that means we're starting to see some players, kind of separate themselves from the rest, even at the top of the pack. We have players who are racking up, 3, 4, even 5 individual titles at this point. And it's really fun to just see, history continue to be made at every championship, new records set. And then on the Pokemon side, I know we'll talk about this a little bit more specifically later, but it's really interesting because I feel like every tournament felt like almost a different meta, because we have, these move updates every 3 months, but then we've also had a couple of new Pokemon, like Tinkaton, for example, just kind of getting sprinkled in along the way. And that kind of made every tournament feel like its own little kind of distinct micro meta. So that was really interesting to watch.
Yeah, one of the fastest changing metas, one of the most interesting games as far as pools of Pokemon that people bring. You see a lot of middle evolutions, a lot of innovations throughout the season like you've talked about. And as you said, the 4th year, this game is growing, prize pool growing in kind. Tell me a little bit about what's at stake at Worlds.
Obviously, going to be the biggest prize pool that we've seen throughout the entire year. You get to the point in the tournament where maybe top 16, top 12, top 8, where every 3-minute game has hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the line. It's kind of crazy to think about, actually. And then I think in addition to, cash prizes and booster packs, there's also some really fun items. I think this happens for all the games where, if you get far enough into the tournament, you start picking up things like hats, cards, etc. So it's a really fun as well as distinct prize pool from the other tournaments that we have.
And it's one game that's particularly fun to watch because as heart rates rise, as the stress rises, as every 3-minute game becomes more and more valuable, it's a physical input game as well. So you're seeing the impact of this stress on these players. And you've brought quite a list of players for us to keep a particular eye on heading into this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have, just like I said, so many players who are just setting new records all the time. And we have world champions, international champions who are going to be in Anaheim. This is Yakai, who is actually our most recent world champion, hailing from Hong Kong, our first APAC world champion as well. So really fun to see him show up last year. And because the APAC region, they really only have 1 or maybe 2 tournaments per year to show their stuff, it's really kind of hard to predict who's going to come out of that and be the most successful. So I think, a lot of people knew Yakai was very good, but we don't get to see him compete against these other top players too often. But he made it look so easy. I mean, he came out of the winner's side. He took down so many big names from around the world, and he just did a really great job. And in terms of this year, I don't think we've actually seen him compete since the World Championships because, like I said, there's just not that many tournaments in APAC, right? But I know he's not, retired or anything. He's often at the top of the Go Battle League leaderboards. I know he's been hosting tournaments for practice for him and his friends, as well as just anyone who wants to join. So I think he's really going to bring it, and I'm really excited to see him again.
So many of the top players that we talked to for this preview show have said how important it is to still kind of grind and keep yourself fresh with the Go Battle League and climbing that leaderboard. So Yakai still lurking in the shadows as a top player, but he's got some stiff competition for the Worlds, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the players that he had to take down along the way was that 3rd place finisher, Maruto Galde. Yeah, there he is. And so Maruto, of course, came off this 3rd place finish at Worlds where he actually had a pretty creative team there. I believe he had Whimsicott, which is pretty unconventional. And he, in 2025, just had the most amazing season that I think anybody's ever had. I mean, we'll have to see how he does at Worlds, of course, to cap it off. But he won LAIC, obviously one of our huge events of the year. And then he also won 3 other regional championships on top of that. No one's ever won 4 tournaments in a season. And I think he even top cut UIC. So he's just had an insane, unbelievable season. I literally cannot believe what a season he's had. And he's really known for being this really charismatic content creator who's really creative with, the Pokemon and how he uses them. And it's when you're watching him, it's really easy to just forget, okay, I'm literally watching one of the best players in the world right now. So definitely a player that you don't want to ever count out.
We're 2 for 2 on Go players identifying as grass-type Pokemon as well. Is there a trend here? I do wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I think early on, like Frenzy Plant and like Community Day grass types were really, really popular. I mean, his like signature Pokemon last year was Whimsicott, which is of course a grass type. So maybe that's kind of where that's coming from.
And he self-identifies as a Grookey, I believe. So
I know if that's his
adorable.
favorite Pokemon, everybody has their favorite that reps them. It's only a matter of time before somebody dreams up Shadow Cubone or something for
day.
Pokemon Go.
One day. It'll happen
Maybe
for you.
Marowak, yeah.
Wow. So the list of incredible players continues, though. It's amazing that so many other names were able to top, considering that Marto has just been camping that top spot. But another player that's really identified himself as well, Pokémon. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, so we just looked at the LAIC champion, and Pokémon is actually the EUIC champion just from, I believe, February this year. And him winning this tournament, I think, was one of my favorite moments of the whole season. He had a really, emotional reaction and a really great series over ZOINKScasts, who I think, the two of them, I think have really kind of set themselves apart as far as the EU region goes. They've been so consistent this entire season. Obviously, Pokémon, winning EUIC here. But then he actually went to NAIC, our most recent tournament in North America, and he was third place there. So, you see this is a series against ZOINKScasts, and I think this is a fantastic rivalry. I don't know, maybe we're a little early to call it that, but I'm really excited to see how, of course, Pokémon does, as well as ZZ, because, like I said, they obviously did so well at EUIC, reaching the grand finals together, and then at NAIC, they were both in the top 4, and Pokémon did such an amazing job. I think if you're a fan of Pokemon Go, you have to watch the winners and losers finals from NAIC, because Pokémon made those, he lost both of them in game 5, but some of the best series I've ever seen. Like the last game between him and Axon to decide who went to the grand finals literally was a 50-50, like the game making a 50-50 for them.
Oh man.
Just crazy close games, and he's such a talented young player as well. So and I think he's reached top 16 at Worlds before too, so I think he can go really far.
When you are able to go toe-to-toe like that with some of the best, and have it come down to just a little bit of luck, that final secret ingredient that goes into making some of our greatest champions, I think that you can still stand proud, and I know that he's going to remain hungry going into the World Championships. But you actually touched on Axon as well, another fantastic Pokemon Go player. Do you want to tell the people about what makes this player so special?
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about Yakai, our most recent world champion. Isaacson was actually the 2023 world champion, winning in Yokohama. I think this is a clip from NAIC, so this is Pokémon and Elon playing to decide who goes on to play Isaacson for that for the NAIC title. So Isaacson, I mean, I said he's the world champion, but he also is a 2-time NAIC champion. And if you do the math on how many seasons we've had, that's like kind of a crazy accomplishment. No one else has 2 IC titles. And I think, he's definitely brought himself back into GOAT contention with the NAIC win. He kind of focused on content creation a lot after Worlds. He's probably our biggest PvP streamer right now. Streams pretty much every day, just talking to people about Pokemon and kind of welcoming them into the game, which is really awesome. But I think in Portland of this year, in May, last regional of the year, and then going into NAIC, he finished the season with back-to-back wins, and I think that's going to put him as kind of a favorite in a lot of people's minds for Worlds. Historically, actually, the NAIC champion has never finished below top 8 at Worlds, so we'll see if he can keep that up. But Axon, a ton of accolades to his name, as well as just being a really good face for the community, I think. So I think a name that a lot of people will be rooting for.
Yeah, those accolades, that reputation is a little bit of what we got the chance to talk to him about in our interview with him yesterday. So I'm going to throw over to that, and you can hear Axon say for himself what it is to go into a tournament with all those expectations on his shoulders.
Hey folks, we're joined for our Pokemon Go interview by Axon. How you doing, my friend? Let the people know, for those of you who might not be familiar, who you are.
Yeah, I'm Axon. I am the 2023 Pokemon Go World Champion. This season as well, I was able to win both the Portland Regional and the North American International Championships. So I've been around the scene a few times. I'm very excited here to get into Worlds in the next week or so.
Yeah, and since you mentioned Portland and NAIC right off the bat, we want to know what changed between the start of the 2025 season and your wins in Portland and at NAIC.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting season for me. There was a lot of like hit or miss performances for me throughout the season. The first event of the season, I got 4th place. I was pretty happy with that. But then I had like 3 or 4 events in the middle where it's just like I kind of just broke even on wins and I wasn't able to make it as far as I wanted. Honestly, for a bit there, I was kind of feeling a bit down on my ability and my chances of actually winning a tournament. But I really just started to relax, I think, going into Portland. I didn't let the expectations get to me where it's like, I'm a player who should be winning these events. Why am I not winning? I always used to have that in my head all the time. But going into Portland, I was just like, I know how to play this game. I'm just going to go into it with the team I know how to play. And the mentality there of just not being quite as hyper-focused on expectations and instead just, doing the games, playing the battles. I think that's what really helped me out.
And once you kind of took that stress off of yourself and you went back to a more comfortable team, it began to click. In retrospect, did you think that was maybe filtering into some of your issues early on in the season? Was it mechanical? Was it you overthinking the teams? Was there something that you were able to identify beyond just your mindset?
Yeah, I think that going into a lot of the other events, it's always been like, I would be a player to watch at the event, and because of that, I'd always stress out a lot over what team I was bringing. I wanted to at least try to, maybe use something that's not always the most meta team possible, and maybe sometimes even just at the events themselves when I'd be leading up to the night before, I'd be really second guessing myself a lot on what I wanted to do. But the main thing really for me was just knowing that I know how to play this game and knowing that I should just lock in what I know how to play with. Don't worry about anything else. And I'm hoping at this point that mentality is going to work at Worlds like it did at the last 2 events.
Well, you're going in as a player to watch once again, but all the eyeballs on you, it seems like something you handle really well. You're a content creator, a leading figure in the community. What's it like going to the event and having all these different hats on as you're going to compete?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had, some sort of expectations on me. My very first event that I ever competed at was the very first time that Pokemon GO was even available to compete in North America way back in 2022, and I got 5th place there. I followed that up with the win in NAIC in 2022. So ever since the start of the scene, I've always had those kinds of, expectations and eyeballs on me. Honestly, if I would have, said before I did any of this, if that was good for me, if I wanted to have those expectations, I'd be honest, I would not think I'd be able to do well with them. But at this point, it's something that I'm just used to now. And I think especially with the new mentality that I have here, it's hopefully gonna not even be an issue for me.
I mean, that is a good reminder for the folks, right? That you had a very strong start at the very beginning of the Pokemon GO competitive scene. When you first heard that competitive was available, did you immediately jump into the deep end? Or was it that the tournament was near you? Were your friends playing? What got you interested, I mean to ask?
Yeah, I think that what really got me interested is it was in 2022 when it was added to the competitive scene for Pokemon GO. And the main reason that I wanted to get out there and try it was because I was locked down for like 2 years there. There wasn't a lot that I could do. And that was like the first time that there weren't really any travel restrictions or anything. I could get out there. And also, kind of conveniently enough, Pokemon GO PvP was added into the game around when the pandemic hit. So I had about 2 years to practice to get really good. And I thought I was good at the game. I didn't know if I could actually win it or if I would just like go 0-2 in my first tournament and not do well. But I really wanted to just get out there, do something, because it was such a long time of just doing nothing with my life because, we couldn't go anywhere. So when I heard that Pokemon GO was being added in, I wanted to just test my skills. I wanted to meet other people. It's been so long, and I'm very happy that it did.
So the world opened up, you hit the ground running in competitive Pokemon GO, and it has been a storied journey all throughout. But has there been a moment that has been your personal favorite?
It's hard not to just say my Worlds win in Yokohama.
That's a good one.
That was probably the best tournament I've ever been to. It's the atmosphere there. Obviously, it's the home of Pokemon in Japan. The crowd there was insane. Everyone, all my friends there to support me. It has to be that.
I mean, very well said. That was a great experience for a lot of people. A great tournament, just a great vibe. These tournaments are great places to compete, but also great places to meet up with friends. Is there any other experiences for this world that you're looking forward to experiencing?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, I mean, I've went to EUIC this year, so I've seen a lot of the European battlers, but it's been a while since I've seen a lot of my friends from the Latin America region. I'd love to see a lot of those players, and we don't get to see a lot of the people from the APAC region too much here either. So the fact that Worlds is actually pretty easy for me to get to this time, it's just in Anaheim, which isn't the hardest thing for me to get to. We've had it in Yokohama, we've had it in London in the past, in Hawaii as well. So just being able to get there easily and see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, that's what I'm looking forward to most. And hopefully, I guess, doing well at the tournament is also pretty high up there.
Well, seeing friends, maybe picking up another World Championship title. There's lots of things to look forward to in the competitive Pokemon space, but do you have any sense of like a bucket list or some goals that you're explicitly set out to accomplish?
I want to, if I can, at least make it to day 2 at Worlds. That's going to be the first goal that I have. Last year, I ended up going 2-2 at Worlds. I won my first 2 rounds and I lost my next 2, which unfortunately I was pretty close to making to day 2. But the very first Worlds I went to, I was able to get to top 8. The second one I was able to win. So I want to get back to that day 2 performance where I can be a bit more consistent there and show on the world stage that I still have what it takes. I think especially after the NAIC win, where I had to fight Potoman, who was the highest ranked player in the European region, as well as Elam, who's the highest ranked player in the North American region. It gives me more confidence to be able to have the bucket list of being able to beat some of the other battlers that I have seen do very well this season. I think one of the battlers I really want to fight is Marto Galde because of his performance this season. He's the LAIC champ. He won like 2 or 3 other regionals as well this season. It was insane. So I think at this point, my bucket list is making it day 2 and hopefully fighting Marto if I can.
If you were to take down Marco, maybe win the World Championships, is that what you would like to be known for in the Pokemon Go scene? Is it your competitive record, potentially this legacy that drives you? Or is it maybe something on the community and content creation side that you would like your name to go down in history for?
Honestly, it's not even for glory or anything like that. I just want to fight him because he's a good friend of mine and he did so well this season that I want to just see if I put myself up against him. I just want to see myself how that battle would go. I know that at this point there's a lot of great battlers, and the worst thing about Worlds is there's so many people there and you're realistically going to fight so few of them. And while there are a lot of great players from around the world, the odds of fighting any one player are pretty low. But if I could fight him and just honestly put on a good show, and it doesn't matter if I win or lose the match as long as it's a close game, as long as it's a close set, I'd love to just see how it went.
Well, the history of Rivals is a long and important one for the Pokemon IP, and across all games, I think nothing makes you better than finding someone who drives you to do your very best, like Marco. So do you feel like this is a relationship you guys share back and forth, this kind of rivalry?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a fellow content creator. I talked to him a lot after the World Championships last year where he did very well. I think that he's going to be able to do well again this year. He had an amazing season. NAIC last second, he was going to actually be there as a commentator, but due to some issues, he wasn't able to do it. So he had to compete last second. So I think at this point wants to be able to redeem his performance at NAIC because he was thrust into that just last second, but now he has 3 months to prepare. And I think that at this point, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with to be able to fight him.
You are really setting the stage. Hopefully we get these matches lined up. If you can't, take him on day 1, you just got to trust that he's going to make it all the way to top 8 and put on a good show for the folks. Are there any other thoughts or final shout outs you want to give before we let you go and keep preparing and make your way over to Anaheim?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been, for the last 2 or 3 months, building as many teams as I can, trying to figure out what I want to use here. Worlds is obviously the ultimate goal of the season, so I want to make sure this is going to count. This would not be possible, me, being where I am today, if it weren't for all the friends and family that have supported me along the way. Obviously, my mom and my sister, they're probably the 2 people who support me most. I also have all my friends, my teammates as well, who they push me to keep on playing, to keep on competing and trying to be as good as I possibly can. So shout out to all my teammates Shout out to all my teammates at the Legends United. They're some of the best battlers in the world and some of the best friends I could have. And there's also, I think just in general, the community. Every time I go to these tournaments, I meet all these new people. Shout out to the community who definitely keeps me interested in the game because it's their excitement and their enthusiasm that really just makes this game worth playing.
Oh, you're an exciting player and an easy one to cheer for, Axon, so we wish you lots of luck as you head on out to Worlds. Family, friends, fans, community, and rivals are all going to be cheering for you, so thank you so much for spending the time with us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. You can tell he's a content creator, so well organized and spoken in his thoughts, running circles around me there. But I think one of my favorite things about hearing Axon talk about was his rivalry with Marto. And Sophia, as someone who has been watching the scene and watching these players compete, what is in their rivalry like from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the interview and I was like, wow, we should have had Axon on the preview show. He's like setting up all the players and all the storylines. So I don't know if they've played each other exactly on an international stage before. Maybe at Worlds 2022, but because they both were top 8 there, but I'd have to go back and check. I mean, I don't know if they've played, but they're both, very, very prominent members of the community who have had success at multiple Worlds and, won all these tournaments. So I think it would be a real treat for the audience to see them get to play it out. Because, Marto did really well last year and Axon obviously won the year before. So I don't think they got to coordinate their successes there. But I think it's really funny how he was like, I just want to show that I can still compete on the international stage. And I'm like, you just won NAIC.
Yeah, so a little humility there as well. So he's not letting it go to his head, but he wants to put on a great performance, just something that he's proud of, which is nice to hear.
Yeah, and someone
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so conscious of the competition. He said he was just putting together team after team after team, and can we get a snapshot, maybe, Sophia, what the meta is like right now? How many different teams is he putting together to kind of get good coverage here? Or is it pretty focused at this point going into Worlds?
So Worlds and NAIC always fall at this kind of weird time where we get a move update typically at the beginning of June, a week or two before NAIC, and then we have nothing up until Worlds. So yeah, I mean, the Worlds meta is always super unpredictable because not only is there just very, very little data and this huge time gap between, Worlds and the last official competition, but you also have to account for the fact that, people from different regions are coming together, and in Go, even though, I know exactly what's going on in the Australian tournaments and the European tournaments, we still seem to develop these regional micro metas. So it's super unpredictable. I mean, most of the players that I've heard from are like, I have no idea what I'm going to run. I'm, like he said, just trying to put together as many different teams as possible. So I think, the first place that a lot of these players are starting with are looking at it's Axon's winning NAIC team, because the interesting part is that the second place player had the same team of 6 with Golisopod switched for Arachnid, which are both bug water typing. So I think that's kind of going to be the blueprint a lot of players are working off of. You see Dedenne, Dusclops, maybe Shadow Drapion, Lapras as, some of the core meta. But something I'm really looking forward to is seeing how players deal with Shadow Scizor, because that's something that the third and fourth place players, Padaman and Zwilis, both brought. And I think a lot of players were not expecting it and not ready for it. And I think that's going to kind of dictate how a lot of people go about building their teams. Do I have to bring, an Arachnid that resists Scissor's Bullet Punch? Do I have to bring a Typhlosion or a Talonflame? Because, like I said, NAIC was the first tournament of that meta. And so I think Scizor kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people. And I think they're going to be more prepared for Worlds.
Well, and a question I have that, we have players of, TCG who want to watch Pokemon Go. We have players that want to watch Unite. And each of these games, each of these competitions has a different kind of format on the back end. So can you give us some insight into how Pokemon Go players have to lock in a team, what kind of variety you can see over the course of a tournament? For example, we were talking to Zoinks and we were talking about Ho-Oh might get banned early, but might make it back later on. When a player comes with a team, what can they do over the course of the tournament to bring in variety?
Yeah, so we basically bring in 6 Pokemon into the tournament. So, when you register for the tournament, let's say a day before, the website will log and you have to put, okay, these are the 6 Pokemon I'm going to use throughout the entire tournament. These are the movesets, these are the CPs, everything. And then during each individual game, you get to pick 3 of those Pokemon to bring into the actual battle. And if you play a match, best of 3 match with someone, you can change which 3 you're bringing, but that team of 6 is locked for the entire tournament. So I wouldn't say there's a ton of adjustment throughout the actual chronology of the tournament. It would be more you kind of realize, this Pokemon that I thought was going to be really good, a lot of people are countering it, so I'm just not going to be bringing it as much. And I think as the field kind of narrows, you can kind of see which Pokemon on your team are going to be more valuable, especially if, you're preparing for day 2 or even day 3 where you know the teams you're going to be playing, you can be like, oh yeah, like I'm probably going to bring this specific Pokemon, or I'm going to expect this specific core from the opposing side. But we do lock in that team of 6 before the tournament starts.
And so there is perhaps a little bit of mind games, right, of maybe bringing the unexpected or uncommon pick, and the way that players are adjusting to that metagame as it unfolds throughout the tournament is always exciting to watch. And it's not just the competitors that have, you know, some excitement. We've got, once again, more drops for our viewers at home, so tune in for these items and try to kickstart your own Pokemon Go competition, right? You want to break these down for us, Sophia?
Yeah, so we've actually got a ton of drops. I think production is saying, why does Go always get the best ones? But so day 1, we're gonna be looking back a little bit to 2024. We have a Skarmory inspired by Yukai's winning team. But I think the really juicy item here is actually that Elite Charge TM. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this research from day 1. You'll also get, looks like, some XL candy for the Skarmory as well as some Stardust. So that is going to be the day 1 drop. And then I think we've actually got something else for day number 2. This one's going to be a little bit more involved. It's kind of trying to inspire a specific team of 3 that you can use in your own games in the Go Battle League at home. So you'll pick one of these paths, and from there you'll get encounters with a variety of different Pokemon that are, you know, supposed to be able to come together and form a pretty cohesive team of 3.
Wow, we've had so much great competition, so much leading up to what we're going to see next week in Anaheim. And it's been a long year that you've covered, Sophia. Any games, any moments from the year that stand out to you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go all the way back to the beginning of the season. So this is the Baltimore Regional, the first North American Regional of the season with Elite and with Dodge. And you know, I know I said this about the UIC and NAIC finals, but I think if you're a fan of Pokemon, you have to watch this grand finals. It was literally storybook in so many ways. These are both players who have, I think, 3 regional titles each, and their grand finals went to a decisive Game 5 to reset the bracket, and then another decisive Game 5 for Wadaj to take the victory over his good friend and teammate, actually, Elite. So all of these games, you can see them just coming down to a turn or you know, a couple of HP. And to start out the season, you know, with such an amazing series and really just storybook ending was really amazing to watch, and, you know, really set the stage for what I think has been our best season so far.
For Pokemon Go, the upper echelons are so evenly matched. We have these beautiful back and forth, full bracket reset, you know, competitions going on, and it's always so hype. You can hear the Pokemon Go crowd just roaring at every single regional. But also, if you do want to share any of these big moments with some of your favorite streamers, we do actually have co-streams set up for Pokemon Go for Worlds, so make sure you catch those drops as well, folks. We got some really interesting things for you there. I love the Letterman jacket, Pikachu. Pokemon Go, production wasn't lying. You really do get the best drops.
Yeah, I think every world, I remember last year there was like a Scuba Pikachu for Honolulu. So I think, yeah, we get a little special Pikachu every year for Worlds.
Well, we've covered so much with the players, with the drops, and just general things to look forward to. But any final thoughts you want to leave us with for now?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great event, and, you know, despite all the, you know, the storylines that we're building, I think, you know, you really can't really predict what's going to happen at Worlds. All these different players from different regions, especially the players from APAC, like, they always have multiple players in the top 8, but you don't know who they are because they have such a competitive system every year that, you know, I'm looking at the Japan qualifiers. They have 16 players they're going to send. Only 5 are actually repeat World Championships competitors, but I mean, I know all of those 16 are top tier players, so it's just kind of hard to predict who exactly is going to come out on top because we have such different amounts of data and different amounts of knowledge about the micro meta. So I think, you know, just stay tuned, and I think it's probably going to be a wild ride regardless of what happens.
Well, fan support sounds like it could really give one player the edge here. So if you have a favorite player, make sure you're supporting them, reaching out on social media, and definitely tuning in to grab those drops. Sophia, we'll be checking in with you later on at the end of the show for a couple Q&A questions and, of course, your hot take on Worlds. So thank you so much for joining us now, and we will see you in a little bit. But, Adam, we got to move on. We got TCG to cover next.
Pokemon TCG. You love to see it, folks. And to help us break down this new metagame for the Pokemon World Championships, we've got Pablo Meza. Welcome in, Pablo. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much, Adam and Rachel. I'm feeling very, very happy, very excited. I can't believe we're in the final countdown leading into the World Championships, and especially we have the brand new white, flare, and black bolt set to consider. That's going to shake up the metagame in quite a few interesting ways, I think. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that a little bit later. And I just wanted to, just to kick things off, right, Pablo, what are your general thoughts about the season? It's been such a long journey. So many different metagames seem to have come and gone. What is your general take so far on how the season has gone?
I mean, I definitely think this 2025 season was really impactful because we had the whole phasing out of V-Star Pokemon, right? We had rotation in April, and the Atlanta Regional showcased the first format featuring only Scarlet and Violet era cards, which also means phasing out the yellow border, the iconic yellow border of cards that was present for so many years, right? So it feels like it's a brand new era. Yeah, exactly. A brand new era we are entering. Some people will look back on nostalgia and all those yellow cards, but I think we had a really cool transition with Bodyu coming out, that big threat of Itchy Pollen limiting players' item cards in February, and that leading into rotation really led to some very exciting moments throughout the season.
The metagame kind of slowing down was a huge portion of that, a lot of back and forth, a lot of strategy, and that just kind of culminated, right, going into NAIC right before World Championships, and that was such a fantastic competition to see play out.
Yeah, NAIC was incredible. We had the brand new Destined Rival set, right? We have Team Rocket getting hyped. Unfortunately, they didn't do too well as they tend to in the last minute. Then we also had Ethan's Typhlosion flop a little bit, but we had the big names Gardevoir, Dragapult, and even Charizard, right? We had a very exciting finals match in juniors with a Dragapult Charizard mirror match between two brothers as well, brother and sister. So it was really amazing to see so many cool storylines there.
And we actually had a chance to catch up with those siblings from the juniors finals. They really captured everybody's hearts, and we had them in the studio to get their thoughts now that a little bit of time has passed as they head into the World Championship. So let's take a look at that interview right now, folks.
Hi, we're here with Annabelle and Kenji Ono, our top finalists from the Juniors TCG competition at NAIC. Thank you both so much for joining us. Annabelle, our champion from the event. How you doing? Introduce yourself to the people, anyone who might not know you.
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so excited to have you here.
My name is Annabelle Ono, and I am a competitor Pokemon TCG player.
And Kenji, let the folks at home know about you as well.
Hello, my name is Kenji Ono. How you doing?
It's so exciting to have you come into the studio. How is it to come into the Pokemon offices and see what it's like?
It's really cool. It's so amazing. I love all the designs. It's so amazing, especially the snacks. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Oh, glad to have you. What do you think of our plushie collection?
I love the plushie collection. The plushie collection. It's so cute. I wish I could have all these plushies.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Maybe one day.
And you guys have been competitors for a long time, versus each other as a wonderful training duo, and versus so many people around the world in competitive TCG. So what's it like being professional Pokemon players right now?
It's a really fun game, plus it's like, it's fun doing well in tournaments, and especially it's really fun while opening packs. That's like really fun.
And yeah. Kenji, what's been your favorite experience so far being a professional competitive player?
Probably NAIC, because like my dream was like to always be on stream. Ooh. But I knew that like since I was like a junior, I am not gonna be like on stream if I don't make like the finals. Like I'm not gonna make stream in like a regional. So I was just like really happy just like be on stream even though I didn't play the best. I was just really happy to be on stream.
I mean, that was a pretty big goal and you definitely achieved it. Both of you were on the big stage at NAIC and I was there certainly. But now that things have settled down, some time has passed, looking back on it, how did it feel to be up on the stage in front of all those people?
It felt amazing to be on stage, but I was kind of nervous because I've never been on stage before. But
I really liked the fireworks and the lights, and then I also heard one of the judges eating something crunchy, so I heard like it sounded like ASMR.
Well, you both seem very comfortable on stage, and I'm sure a lot of your friends and family got to see you up there as you won, as you competed. So what was the reaction like when you went home after having such a great tournament?
I was just really happy. I was like, because when I was finished with my top 4 match, I heard a lot of like cheering and clapping. And I went to Annabelle and I realized that she won, and we were like jumping up and down. We were hugging each other, our friends were hugging with us, our coaches were high-fiving us, my friends and family were proud of us, and everybody who supported us congratulated us.
Yeah, and then we wanted to keep on celebrating, so then we went to our hotel lobby, and then we were like playing video games, dancing, eating pizza, and then there's a lot of people celebrating with us, and we stayed up till 1, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
It was really fun.
Definitely.
It was really fun, but we also played some like more Pokemon card games.
Of course.
We didn't play like standard, we just played like draft.
Yeah.
Nice. Great way to celebrate such a big win. And the fact that both of you made it to the finals meant that there was, just so much stress relieved. Were you still going into it thinking about the competition, or was it just kind of fun and games from then on out?
Yeah, it was just like more of like having fun, and it's like for fun game. It's not that.
Since I was playing against Annabelle, I just kind of like having fun, waving to the crowd, just like playing Pokemon and having like a great time.
Yeah.
Well, one of the most fun things about seeing you guys on stage too is, of course, your wonderful fashion, excellent Team Rocket cosplay. We had to step up and, of course, try and meet you on that level. But why Team Rocket? Why such an excellent choice?
We wanted to do Team Rocket for like Destined Rivals, and like whenever I go to Pokemon tournaments, I really like dressing up as like Pokemon theme or Pokemon trainers. Like I've done Spheal because I love how cute when it rolls around. I've done Mousehold because it reminds me of the family. I've done Sylveon because it's just one of my favorite Pokemons. For Pokemon trainers, I've done Liko because me and Kenji dressed up as Roy and Liko, and I've done Erica. But I really like Erica, but the sleeves are like, you have to tie them up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I really like cosplaying. I really like matching people. Like, when Annabelle did Liko, I wanted to like do Roy, and yeah. And I also wanted to do Team Rocket because I thought Team Rocket was really cool, and Distant Rivals just came out, so.
Is there anything besides TCG, the way that your sister's into cosplay as well, are there other things in Pokemon that you really enjoy besides just the card game, Kenji?
Pokemon Center.
Okay.
I love going to the Pokemon Center
yeah.
and grabbing everything until my mom says I have to put back 70% of it.
We're like, no, we want that.
I want all the plushies.
Oh, the Pokemon Center at the events is so much fun. But Annabelle, you got a world's invite to Yokohama last year, and they have an incredible Pokemon Center out there. What was it like to go to Yokohama and experience Pokemon in Japan?
It was so amazing. I loved the food. I loved all the Pokemon designs there. I also liked the trains and the Pokemon Center. I just like, whatever I see, I just grab it. I run and I grab everything. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool because I really like the service there. The people were really nice, and I really like the arcade and the crane machines.
Oh yeah, the claw machines. The Pokemon claw machines were amazing.
Yeah.
There's always so much to do, not just like when you go to Pokemon events, but also in the surrounding city. Really glad to hear that you were able to experience Yokohama. That's super exciting.
Yeah, we stayed there for 3 weeks.
It was such
Wow.
an amazing experience.
And now you've got another great one coming up in Anaheim. So is there anything that you've already scoped out you maybe want to do in the surrounding area, or are you focusing just on the Pokemon Center and the competition first and foremost?
Well, first of all, what I'm thinking of is just go to the Pokemon Center and grab all of the exclusive stuff and race to grab all of the cute plushies. Like, that's my main goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a great vacation. And you've got a lot of plushies that you've got your eye on. You've got a lot of plushies that you brought here today. Excellent selection, by the way. But as I understand it, this is but a fraction of the plushies you have at home. How big is the collection at home?
Ooh, okay.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000.
I hear laughter from the parents in the background as well. I have to assume this is quite an impressive collection. Is there a favorite Pokemon that each of you try and target when you buy a plushie?
We're turtle.
I really like going for like my favorite Pokemon or the cute ones. I really like collecting the Pikachu collections. I think that's like one of my favorite because I just like this. I love collecting Pikachus. I like seeing all the different types and all the different designs. I just like grabbing all of the special ones.
That's very Team Rocket of you.
I really like every Pokemon. I think every Pokemon's cute because I feel like every Pokemon deserves some love.
That's very well said. Every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. Even if it doesn't have a plushie yet, they'll get around to it, I guess.
Yeah.
And were you already collecting plushies before you started playing Pokemon? Were you fans before? Or has it kind of just created this snowball of TCG, going to events, getting plushies, and then going to the next one?
So before we played Pokemon, we were just started collecting. We just thought like the cards were really cool. We had like a couple plushies because they thought we were really cute. Yeah, so like before we were just like collecting.
Well, we were more like collecting, but since we got like more competitive or we've been to like the ICs or where the Pokemon centers were, so we just started grabbing so much, especially when we went to Japan. There's like bags full of everything. It was so hard to carry them. So then whenever we would have big bags, we would just give them to our dad so he could carry all of them.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and when
That's why you bring them, right?
Yeah.
Extra luggage. Make
Yeah,
sure
we
you
have
bring
to-
yours to Worlds, folks. But when you started getting in more competitive for Pokemon, right? You're collecting, you're getting the plushies, you're getting the cards, and you wanted to take the game a little bit more seriously. Would you say that both of you kind of hopped on the wagon at the same time, or was Kenji a bit more competitive? Were you a bit more competitive, Annabelle?
I think we kind of like hopped on the same time, but Kenji has been getting like more like placements on the second year, like first year, he got like 2 top 8s.
Okay.
When we just started, I was like, wow, I don't even know how I could even get that. Like.
So you had a bit of a stronger start with like your placements and stuff, Kenji.
Yeah, I really wanted to just go and do really well because I didn't think it was too hard. I just thought I could if I did well at one tournament, I would do well at a bunch of other tournaments.
So you hit the ground running, wasn't a lot of strong competition out there to take you down, and then suddenly your sister shows up on the scene. Were you immediately a strong rival for your brother, do you think? Or did you have to work a bit hard to get on his level and then overtake him?
I think Kenji gave me some information, and then that helped me a lot. And then I just worked my way up.
Well, both of you are such impressive competitors that I know that a lot of fans out there have been watching and would really love to have a journey like yours. So is there any advice that you'd want to share to trainers who maybe want to get started? Kenji, you want to start us off?
Stay strong, don't give up, and even when you think you're in a losing position, there's always a way you can get back up. Because when I was playing Full Dusknoir, I was using Cool Arrow. It was so funny. Because I used Cool Arrow and I actually won that game. So it was really
Yeah, you got to keep an open mind. There's a lot of attacks and abilities and lines of play that you can take to definitely snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Were there any, now that you mention it, were there any cool plays or specific games that really stuck with you over your tournament run at NAIC?
I don't think
It's just all a blur at this point, huh?
Yeah. The one that I really remember is in Sacramento, because I thought I was done in my top 4 match because I prized all my Charizards. So then I was like, oh, I can't really do anything. And then because I just thought, oh, they have less cards than me, and deck out is kind of maybe my only win position here. And then I just passed instead of attacking for knockout with my Radiant Charizard, and then he just scooped immediately because knew it was done.
Impressive.
Impressive, and a great memory too. How about you, Annabelle?
I don't think I have that any for NEIC. I just remember I also pressed 2 Gardevoirs and I couldn't do anything in that position. But what I did is just I kept mind bending, and then I eventually got the Gardevoirs out, and I just started going aggressive, and it actually worked out, especially as it was one of my bad matchups too.
Okay, yeah, don't give up. Try to find some plays to buy yourself some time and bring yourself back into the game. Sounds like a solid game plan to me.
And even when like you don't have like a great chance at like winning, there's like still a chance that you could win.
Never
so
give
always
up.
Try to like take that chance for you trying to like win the game.
Yep.
Champion attitudes for our champion players. Thank you so much for the insights and for sharing so much about yourselves. Everyone out there that's been a fan of you and every new fan out there who just watched your interview, anything you want to say to them, Annabelle?
Thank you for everybody, especially for like my coaches and like Jackson and my parents, my brother, my friends like Alonzo, who definitely helped me get into the top 8, and Issa, Nassif, Jeff helped us play, helped us teach us how to play. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Kenji, anything you want to add?
I think that's about it. Cause like, yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What an amazing interview. They're so adorable, and it's great to just see the come up of these new Pokemon celebrities.
Team Rocket's gonna be all right. The new generation of recruits is looking strong.
I was gonna say there seems to be like Team Rocket seems to be meddling with the TPCI headquarters over there.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. They still got a lot of clout from back in the day, and it's just being passed down to those next layers of competition. And Pablo, as a player who's also kind of done a lot of work mentoring the next generation of Pokemon players, right? Was there anything that really stuck out to you from the interview?
I mean, they're both amazing kids. I had the pleasure to work with them in the beginning of their journey, and to see them grow into NAIC champion and finalist is really amazing. But I think they're both still like incredibly humble, right? Like they just really like Pokemon. They love Pokemon. They enjoy everything about Pokemon, and I imagine they probably love their plushie collection more than their recent trophies, because they just like love plushies so much. So I don't know. It's great to see that they have such a good supporting group, that they have amazing parents that support them as well in their journey, and it clearly shows and has paid off for them in many ways.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll see if we might see another run back, right, in the juniors finals at Worlds. That would be really exciting.
I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but they really do capture your heart, and I'm so excited now to watch. I mean, we watch Masters level play in a lot of games, but there's so much and so many interesting stories across all levels of play in Pokemon, so I appreciate them showing that to us too.
So it's just another thing to look forward to at the competition. But Pablo, speaking of course, the Masters competition, for people who want just a quick list of names, right? Some players to look out for going into this gigantic TCG competition. Who do you got for us?
I mean, there's definitely 3 big name players, especially throughout the season. The first one being, of course, Tord Reklev. I think at this point, he has for sure proved himself as the greatest player of all time. I think his international achievements and his achievements at the World Championships are now a step above the previous greatest of all time, who is Jason Klasinski, 3-time Worlds winner. So Tord Reklev, just an outstanding competitor, both in and out of the game. All the work that he's doing, coaching other people as well, sharing his knowledge as well through various avenues. And the results he had this season alone are already like impressive. The one thing he didn't manage this season was to win an event, right? So when the surprising thing about your season is that you didn't win an event, you know you're doing things right? Like, you know, the expectations are set so high for you that not winning an event is the weird thing to happen to you, right? So Tord Reklev, 5-time international champion since the international championship started in this new era of TCG. He was a finalist this season in Poland in the Gdansk regional championship. He got top 4 at NEIC. And he lost under a very interesting circumstance where his opponent chose not to attack him during a turn, which I think caught him off guard for sure in that stance. So I think that even shows that even he still has room for growth, which is very scary to think about. Like an even better Tord Reklev, who is already a 5-time international champion. I feel at this point we are all just waiting for. It's a matter of when, not if, he wins a world championship, and this could be the one, right?
Mm-hmm. Throughout all of Tord's accolades, he's always, once again, kind of remained humble and just very matter-of-fact about the game. And so if he is going to take his performances in stride and identify where he can improve, he's going to be even more of a monster, I think is probably the mildest way to put it. But you've got a couple other players that have had some breakout performances this season that might give him a run.
Yeah, I mean, we have from Australia, Brent Tonneson. He's an outstanding player as well. He's known as a world traveler, right? He played, I think, a regional championship in every single region over on the west side of the world. He won a regional in Mexico. He won a regional in Australia. He was a finalist in Brazil. So he's been playing all over. He's fantastic as well. He shares a lot of his knowledge as well through various avenues. So not only is he very good, he's also helping others grow alongside him, which is very nice to see.
I mean, a player that is traveling and getting a taste of all these different sub-meta games throughout the different areas of the world is maybe going to give him an edge, right, going into the World Championships, this international competition, and he's not going to be affected by the jet lag, we can say that.
Yeah, I think Brent is a great example of he's one of the most dedicated players, right? He's immune to jet lag, it seems, or he plays better with jet lag. That's what I joke with the Australian players. It feels like whenever they're jet lagged, they just play better and they do really well. And yeah, I mean, his results speak for themselves. He is missing that big international win, right? He almost got it in Brazil, and he had a very peculiar situation where he tied the finals match by beating his opponent within 2 turns because they drew bad. So he came so close in Brazil, but he hasn't quite gotten that big international finish. He got the regional finishes past a while ago, but he's still looking for that big international finish, and I think you can see the hunger in him that he wants it, right? So once again, this could be his Worlds.
Every top player in the Pokemon TCG is kind of dominant in their own way. There's so many different levels of competition, and some people get the one big win for prestige, and then other players, they go wide instead of tall.
Yeah, Brent's definitely going wide, but another player that had a fantastic season and has been doing amazing, right, is Henry Chow. Yeah, Henry Chow had his breakthrough performance a season ago at NEIC. He got top 8. Very few people knew about him. And then this season, he won the first regional of the season, and he won 2 others, which winning 3 events in a single season is unheard of. And then he lost the finals of a 4th regional championship. So he could have been a 4-time regional champion in a single season. And he also came close to top cutting NEIC just a few months ago. And it's all been done with the same deck, right? Not the same list, but the same concept of Gardevoir EX, which is very impressive.
Gardevoir EX is furniture for the metagame. I think for the TCG, we have so many decks that just have such a great foundation, a solid idea that a player, if they dedicate themselves to that mastery, can get a lot of mileage. And do you think that Gardevoir is the reason for Henry Chow's success, or does he have some other X factor as a player you think he could have done well with pretty much anything?
Yeah, I mean, he played Golden Go at EUIC and he didn't do well, so people might deem that as an example of how he's too focused on Gardevoir. But watching him play, his results, like, he's a very good Pokemon Trading Card Game player. I am very certain that if he chose to play a different deck for the World Championships, he's going to be just as menacing when you're playing against him. Like, he's not going to give you any breathing room. He's going to pounce on every mistake you make, big or small. So I guess I'm going to guess he's going to play Gardevoir at Worlds just based on the history. But he's so fantastic and such a good player that he could play any deck at a high level and still become a champion.
You talked about Gardevoir being basically furniture in the meta at this point. Very commonplace, hardly noticed. But we did have a bit of a meta shakeup with, of course, White Flare and Black Bolt coming out. So as we're taking a look into maybe potential changes or mix-ups we could see heading into Worlds, is there anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, I think there's definitely two standout cards, which I actually have right here. These two are big, impactful cards right now, especially Genesect. Sorry, Genesect. Genesect has made Golden Go extremely viable. And coincidentally, Golden Go gives Gardevoir a hard time. So we're in a weird situation where Golden Go gives Gardevoir a hard time. And Golden Go just got so much better. And then there's a lot of decks that were not doing so well because of Gardevoir, that if Gardevoir goes down, can now do better. But all those decks are very good into Golden Go. So if Golden Go gets scared of those decks, that gives Gardevoir some breathing room to come back. So what part of the cycle we're going to hit in the metagame for the World Championships is anyone's guess. It's really exciting to see what's going to happen. I'm also very nervous about it because I'll be playing in that World Championship and I'm wondering what's going to happen there as well. So it's really hard to figure out exactly where we're going to land. And that's part of the preparation, right? You have to anticipate that. And that comes with preparing your 60, trying to predict the metagame, and then hoping the matchups go your way.
And when we consider this new Golden Go idea with the Genesect, Gardevoir still being a solid deck, and then the rest of the metagame, is there a deck that's maybe the best of the rest, or maybe the top of that pile to maybe complete the trifecta?
I would definitely argue Dragapult. Dragapult is a very versatile card, and Dragapult as a deck can branch into three different options, right? Dragapult on its own, which we saw toward Redcliffe Pilot to NAC very well, and then we have Dragapult Dustour and Dragapult Charizard. So we have all three variations, which all have potential, and they offer different options to cover the weaknesses that Dragapult has, right? So the single Dragapult deck is a more like middle of the ground play where it tries to disrupt their opponents and just overtake with multiple Dragapults. Dragapult Dustour is extremely aggressive by giving their opponents prizes but getting a lot of damage into play in exchange to wipe out huge boards. And then Dragapult Charizard is Dragapult's answer to Gardevoir with a dark typing. So once again, like, if you choose any of these three decks and you face off against a lot of Golden Go, you might have a tough time. But if you're going with Dragapult Charizard, for example, and you hit Golden Go and Gardevoir, you're in for a treat almost. So there's a lot that can change depending on who you end up facing and what they chose to bring to the World Championships.
A lot of options there, but few options when you really start getting down to the brass tacks. I wonder what the metagame is like.
Infinite options. It just keeps going around in a circle, you mean?
Are you watching other competitors, like social media? Are you trying to like pop in streams and see, like, are they dropping hints? Like, how deep does the information gathering go now here as you're preparing as a competitor?
Yeah, so I think it's pretty interesting because we have the ladder, right, with Pokemon TCG Live. And so we have the ELO ranking system. And so as you get higher in the ranking, you start facing off against people who some you might recognize. And so like, you might be wondering if they're practicing their world's first choice and that's what they're going to bring, or if they're getting things out of the way. Like, I always advise people to, like, if you have an idea that you're unsure of, like, get it out of your system before the big event, right? If it's like a questionable choice. So the ladder is an interesting way to try to find out. I don't think we have a lot of the top competitors streaming. There's a lot of teams working together, and I think a lot of the the testing or whatnot is going to be done personally at Anaheim. I'm sure a lot of people are going to fly early to get those like sort of boot camps going. So yeah, it's hard to gather true intel from other competitors at this point.
It's an important quest, though. So best of luck to everyone, including you, Pablo, who's preparing out there.
Thank you.
And, if you're not preparing, if you are just going to be tuning in, hanging out, and watching, well, we got something special for you as well. We got some distributions and some drops for our viewers. Pablo, what are we getting here on Pokemon TCG?
So we are getting Hilda, which is a pretty powerful supporter card that just came out from the new set. We have End's Plan as well, and we have the beautiful Electros line where Electric, the stage 1, is very playable. Yeah, you'll be able to receive these cards by watching the stream on the day. There will be a special code revealed, which you will be able to use to redeem all of these cards on the Pokemon Trading Card Game live game. So definitely stay tuned. And all of these cards, 2 of them are very playable and all of them are very pretty. So why not get them for free, right?
Dynamotor fans eating good as well. The Electric, great card to pick up. And of course, we've got other drops as well. These are really exciting too. Make sure you're tuning in, folks.
Yeah, you can get the World Swag, right? The digital World Swag with the deck box and the sleeves and the coin and some extra trade credits and trainer points in order to get any cards you might be missing for your deck, as well as the beautiful Hydreigon EX line, which I know a lot of people are trying to pull. So you can get 1 copy of each of the line immediately, right? So make sure you are watching either the live stream or people co-streaming. That's going to be pretty cool as well to see their takes. And then we also have TCG Pocket, right? We cannot forget about our little brother, I call them. It's like the little brother of TCG. You can get 12 pack hourglasses and 12 wonder pack hourglasses if you watch the Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. And hey, maybe you'll be interested in the other game as well.
I do like to jump between them both. One feels like I'm, doing work. I'm digging in. I get my homework done. And the other one feels like I'm really just playing and having a great time and collecting.
I mean,
I'll let you decide which one's which.
If doing my homework means getting bopped because I'm trying to make Mammoth line work, then I guess we all got to eat our vegetables sometime.
Absolutely.
But I guess with all those great goodies for our audience at home being covered, some big names to look forward to, the next generation to look forward to, I do want to now ask you, Pablo, what is your favorite moment that really stood out to you over the course of this season?
So at EUIC, watching Natalie Miller play, like I said, jet lag helps the Australian players, gives them some sort of superpower. And watching her play and figure out, like, EUIC was one of the first tournaments we had with the new introduction of Budew, but we didn't have rotation quite yet. So we had a mix of V-stars and Vs and EXs and a lot of good stuff. And so there were a lot of unknown from players, and we saw Natalie find a win condition against her opponent by decking them out. Which decking someone out when your deck is not dedicated to decking someone out is actually not a very common strategy. So Natalie actually made calculated guesses on their opponent's energy count, on their opponent's switching card availability, and then stuck an Archaludon in the active and chose not to KO it in order to run them out of resources because their Archaludon was not able to attack anymore. As you can see, there's a lot of energy in play and a lot of energy in the discard pile and no more ways to recover them. So their Archaludon was just going to be there and Natalie had more cards left in her deck. So finding those alternate win conditions to your usual game plan of knocking out 6 Pokemon is is a great indication of a very, very good Pokemon trainer.
Absolutely. What a calculation. Twice now we've heard about wins that were pulled against top players by having that restraint, knowing when not to attack as well. This game continues to evolve not just through card releases, but through player intelligence. And I think that was a great one to call out there, Pablo.
Yeah, I know that you are a big fan of, as you've put it time and time again, right? Having plan G, not just the main idea of your deck, but keeping an open mind to those very hard to see lines of play. Natalie Miller being, again, once more a player from Australia that, doesn't get enough credit, it seems, and maybe we'll have another breakout performance for this World Championships.
Yeah, I definitely think she's also one of the big Australian players missing like a really big international win right? She's come close. She came very close at EUIC, getting second place as well, just like Brent. So I could honestly see they all work together. They all are fantastic players. So I'm definitely rooting for Natalie to get a big win, whether it's at this Worlds or at some other tournament in the near future.
Absolutely. You've brought so many great thoughts for us today. I love that shout about Natalie at the end. Anything else you want to add before we send you off, let you relax, and then drag you back out for a Q&A and hot take later on?
I mean, we're in for a treat at this World Championships with a brand new set. We always get this shake-up before the World Championships, so we're bound to see a lot of innovation and a lot of new strategies. So definitely be excited for it, because it's going to be a showcase of amazing talent for sure.
Excellent and well said. Thank you, Pablo. Now, Whirlwind, I send you back to the bench, and we get a new one. This one, of course, Joe Brown covering VGC to wrap us up for the day.
Beautiful. Joe Brown, what a homie. But I need you to talk to him real quick while I get a new earpiece. So take it away, Joe.
Oh, hey, Joe. Now that it's just me and you, Joe, we can really get into it here. 2025, before Adam gets back, give me the breakdown.
Well, I was going to say I missed Adam, but he's not going to hear it.
No, you still miss Adam.
He'll never know. Listen, Rich, I'm just trying every day, trying to rep Jersey proudly every day, you know. So we're getting there, but Thank you. 2025 season has been honestly incredible. We're at essentially our culmination format of every generation of VGC. This is throughout all the years. Usually we have a capstone of 2 restricted Pokemon legal per team, and that's the format we have right here for the World Championships. And there with the combination of terrestrialization and these restricted legendary Pokemon, you can imagine they kind of work in unison pretty well together.
Yeah, I almost work as well in unison as Adam and I do together. Thank goodness.
Oh yeah, what I miss.
You missed a little bit about terrestrialization, the effect that it has had.
There's just so much information being dropped. It drained the battery right out of my audio, but I'm glad I'm here, fresh and ready to go, so I can hear Joe Brown keep breaking it down.
Yeah, we're back on the power spot. We're charged up. We are, in fact, Dynamaxed and ready. But that's not really even part of the meta right now, is it?
That's how old we are. We've been making so much space for the new generation, and I'm really excited to see what VG has cooked up because of terrestrialization.
Yeah, but you gave us a little preview of what 2025 has been like. But now it's come down the funnel to the fine point of Worlds. How are you seeing things distilled down?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of regions are really showing distinct play styles and team building, and there's always a narrative between the EU versus NA conversation in VGC and how we like to team build and our perspectives on what makes a good team and how to play the game properly. But this year, it's really that divide has really started to widen, where the EU teams and the top performing EU players are really choosing consistency. They're choosing the best or most common strategies or most common Pokemon. For example, I'd say the most prominent duo of restricted Pokemon is Calyrex Shadow Rider and Zamazenta. They cover each other really well, where the North American players, they use really powerful Pokemon. Obviously, they still want to win, but it seems as if a lot of times the NA players are trying to win while breaking the meta, right? Using something that people weren't expecting to come out on top, compared to the EU players that are trying to win with the most consistent proven strategy. And I think that's the divide here. Really important to note here, this season, obviously America has 4 World Championships, 3 of them from Ray Rizzo, 1 from Wolf Glick. EU has 3 champions, Arashi Omadi, Edu Cunha, and Luca Cherubelli last year. So if EU comes out on top this year, which many people are expecting, as Italy seems like the strongest region in the world right now, they would tie USA in World Championships.
That sounds like an impressive feat that EU would be able to pull off here. And as you kind of illustrated that divide, the consistency on EU, the meta breaking from NA, as we've seen these different regions go head-to-head over the year, has kind of one of these really won out in a way that would allow you to kind of predict which region might dominate? I mean, you said Italy's doing fantastic here. Fantastic enough?
Yeah, I think Italy is kind of on a tear on their own right now. There's legitimately probably 6 or 7 trainers from top level Italian VGC that you could conceivably see winning the World Championships this year. Historically, though, to answer the question, it has typically been a strategy that comes out of left field, that comes out of nowhere, that does perform well at the World Championships. You think of Seijune's Pachirisu or Wolf's Assault Vest Raichu, and like many of these Pokemon that people are not anticipating to do well. Usually the World Championships is where the meta does, break in case of an emergency and something crazy does happen.
Well, you've got some players for us to keep an eye on here. Are these canaries in the coal mine? Are these trendsetters? Who have you got for us, and what are they bringing to the table?
The first one, definitely a trendsetter this season. That is former senior world champion Carson Confrin. Now, that was 2016 as a senior, so he's got a lot of experience in the Masters division. And being a former world champion, being a former LAIC champion back in 2018, you would think those are his best accomplishments. But arguably, 2025 has been his best season ever as a trainer, better than winning Worlds and an IC. He's top cut 7 major events this year, including winning the Sacramento Regional Championships, top cutting NAIC as well. So I think Carson is really finding his stride in Scarlet and Violet this season in particular as a team builder, working with very popular team building where not just him, but his other friends are also top cutting the same events that he is winning or top cutting as well with the same archetype. So he's not just proving that he himself is a strong trainer, but he's building teams that the rest of his crew are able to perform with as well.
And if they continue to perform and continue to innovate, it's only going to add more accolades to his career. And somebody who's had such a long run in VGC, I think that this is a metagame that really lets them shine because of, all of the changes in regulations and terrestrialization.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is definitely Carson's most consistent season that he's had. A lot of high-level performances, and I think a lot of people you would think of maybe a North American like Wolf Glick or some of the other players at the top, Justin Tang, Joe Ugarte as well. But like my smart money, if you're asking me, he did just get top 16 at NAIC as well as a regional championship. So if I'm picking an American, I'm picking Carson Confrin.
But he's got stiff competition. Who else is on your short list to watch, Joe Brown?
I think one of the big names out of EU is Victor Medina, one of Spain's top trainers. A bit of a second place streak, or kind of a bridesmaids complex. Always coming so close at so many international championships. He's made top 8 at Worlds. He's made top 4 at every international championship. EU, NA, and LAIC. He's made top 4, and he lost to Marco Silva in LAIC finals earlier this season. So Victor is never a surprise that he does well at an event. Like you could just blink and you miss it. Victor's already in top 4 of a regional or top 4 of an IC. Like that's how consistent of a player he is. So there is a chance that that Spain might be the best. They want to prove to their Italian EU friends that Spain is the best region.
Yeah, one spot's reserved.
Yeah, see if they can. Who else you got for us now? We're 2 and 2 down to go.
I'm going with a sleeper pick. I'm going with some LATAM representation, nice. And I'm going with former Players Cup champion Renzo Navarro. First of all, powerhouse name. We were talking with production. Powerhouse VGC player name, Renzo Navarro. And he is a powerhouse player, getting top 4 at LAIC this season in his home region. Meant with that direct invite, did not have to go to as many events this season because he was already qualified for Worlds, but the events he still attended in Latin America, he's still able to get those top cuts. He's won 2 regional championships in his career, as I mentioned, the Players Cup champion as well. And I think Renzo is definitely a sleeper pick. There's a lot of other Latin American players we always talk about that have the best chance to win, but I feel like he does not attend as many events as some of the other LATAM players like Gabriel Agati and others, Juan Salerno, Sebastian Escalante. But when he does show up, he shows up big.
And I gotta say, we're seeing a great distribution of characters to follow too. So if you just want to treat this like an anime, here's your cool, collected, level-headed winner. Didn't pop off on the win. Nice, cool face during the match. I mean, I love to see the different energy all
with
these
the
players
sick name. Yes,
yeah.
He's definitely given some good energy there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Renzo's a great player, great ambassador for the game, and great ambassador for LATAM. And I would not be surprised to have him in Top Cut in Anaheim.
Well, who else would he have to get through if he's looking to accomplish this next week in Anaheim?
So the other big name is, of course, we can't talk about the players to watch without mentioning the NAIC champion Federico Camporese, or Fede Campo, as his friends like to call him. One of those top level Italian players. He was actually hotel roommates with Marco Silva at NAIC, so they flew together, stayed, were saving money by bunking together in the hotel, and they face off at NAIC finals. They're teammates, they're best friends, they're always team building together. It was a really dramatic storyline. This is now the second time Federico has beaten Marco Silva in a finals match on a massive stage like this, and many people consider Marco Silva, as the only 3-time international champion in our game's history, to be potentially the best player currently in VGC. And if you're consistently beating the best player in the world in some people's eyes, that's got to put you in the conversation for Fede.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but Federico looking exceptionally strong. I don't know if he requires Marco to be a roommate for him to get that far, in which case, well, you're definitely going to want to check out our interview with him because you'll get a bit of a hint of how that's going to go. We got to talk to him yesterday, and here it is. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Federico. Now you're going to be competing in VGC at Worlds. It's been an exciting year, a run-up to all this, but for the people who are watching who need to get to know you a little bit better, what do you want to tell them about you?
So, thank you for having me here. I won the last international this season, the NAC. So I will say that's my best accomplishment yet in VGC, together with my World Top 4 in 2023. I played this game since a lot of years, played a lot of years in the seniors division before, and now I'm in the Masters division since around 3 years, yeah. My first event in Masters was Worlds 22. Worlds is the only kind of event I haven't won yet, so my goal is to accomplish that as soon as possible.
I mean, it's going to be a tall ask. There's a lot of strong players in the field, especially at Worlds this year. And you already touched on how you began your competition as a senior, and you had a lot of success there. And now that you are competing in the Masters division, what was that changeover like in your sort of growth as a player?
So I was never scared too much of this change. I feel like I was mentally ready for that a lot before actually going into Masters. I will say that I got helped a bit by the fact that I turned into Masters a bit later because of the stop in 2020 and 2021. Mm-hmm. And then also in this time I played a lot online to just get used to play against Masters players. So I have had the chance to get used to compete at this level, and always try to practice together with older players. So the age division has never ever felt like a bad thing to me. Like, actually I got way better results in Masters than in seniors in the end. So of course with way more attempts, but still feeling good about both the divisions.
Your coming into Masters has coincided with an incredible success overall for Italy in the region in Scarlet Violet VGC. So can you speak to that a little bit? Has it been, a lot of your fellow countrymen that you've had time to practice with, or have you noticed a growth overall in the tournaments that you've been attending locally?
Yeah, so in Italy there are a lot of zones with really stacked locals with a lot of good players. And the technically way best zone is Milan, which is a bit far from where I live, so I don't get to compete here really often. But I have a lot of friends from every part of Italy, so I definitely think the overall level of Italy, whatever is your zone, is pretty high. There are a lot of great competitors, and the Italian community is really friendly between them, and everyone knows each other, and there is a lot of groups that help each other to grow as players. And this definitely helped Italy to become one of the strongest regions in the world.
And when you're discussing the meta game and various regulations with other Italian players, do you kind of drive that conversation? Are they looking up to you as a player, or is it more of a shared community meta reading going on?
I will say it's both. Like, of course, it depends on who you're talking to. Despite having a really friendly community, of course, you always have your closer friends and maybe the other ones that are part of other teams, or just maybe you're not their most common practice partner. So no one is sharing everything about their prep secrets, of course, especially before Worlds, which is kind of event where everyone likes to be the most secret as possible. But definitely we have a lot of conversation, especially with Il Server, which is my friends group that also has a lot of other really good Italian players. So we are really big groups. 10 of us are going to Worlds this year. So these are the main people I talk with for practice, but not only them.
Well, on the topic of, keeping your secrets within your group and not giving too much away before Worlds, would you be comfortable at all talking to us about how you chose your restricted pair, or
just generally
maybe
what goes into that process?
Yeah, like how your group kind of handles that.
Okay, so I will say the best approach for any tournament in this regulation, at least, I think every regulation has a potential different optimal approach. And in this format, I believe there are 2 or 3 restricted pairs that are way more optimal than anything else. And maybe because it's most likely optimal to not run restricteds that miss a lot of their moves, like Groudon or Kyogre, for example. So I believe there are 2 restricteds that are way better than anything else, that are Calyrex Shadow and Miraidon. Not necessarily played together, but I just think they are gonna win Worlds, and without leaking my team or my friend's team, but I'm just trying to think about it, but I don't think any one of my group is bringing a team that doesn't have none of them.
Okay.
And I will say that's I think there are teams without them that are definitely really good. But usually I think you should pick up one between the optimal restricteds, and then try to stick with that, try to have your comfort zone in this format, because it's really hard to pick up the perfect pair in this format, which is probably the double restricted metagame with the highest amount of viable pairs ever existed. So it's a really hard one, and I believe the best is just trying to stick with your best pair and just try to outplay every opponent and every matchup, because there are more than 10 viable restricted pairs, so having a good matchup into all of them, it's impossible.
Okay, yeah, you just have to kind of roll the dice, try to have a strong read on the metagame. If you are building a team around Miraidon, Calyrex Shadow Rider, and you want to maybe reach for something that's a bit more uncommon, maybe to catch your opponents by surprise, do you think there's any other restricteds that are perhaps a bit underrated right now or being slept on?
So even if I mentioned it as one of the technically not optimal ones, I think Kyogre is really strong. I believe Calyrex Ice Kyogre is the best restricted pair that doesn't have neither Miraidon or Calyrex Shadow. And I think it might be in a good spot right now, because it was already a good team, and it seems that there are a lot of Sun teams rising up right now, more Groudon and Koraidons. And Kali Ice Kyogre is really good into most likely any Sun team. So I think that's definitely the most underrated pair. I don't think an high amount of people is going to bring that, but I believe it's definitely the best that doesn't contain the top 2 restricteds, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really strong answer.
On the topic of strong pairs, you and Marco, are you guys traveling together again for Worlds? Any plans?
We are not rooming together this time because in New Orleans, Marco was alone without his family. And this time there is Pietro also competing in seniors and their mother. So they're rooming together. I usually room with Marco when he is not with his family. So this time not rooming together.
Yeah. Well, that's nice of you to take care of him when he's solo, but now you're rolling solo here. Are you feeling mentally prepared? You got your posse with you, right?
Yeah, I feel I feel great. I'm leaving in a few days, and I'm excited for this tournament, definitely.
There's so much time and effort and energy. You talked about the prep that goes in, not just with your group, but just the regions as a whole. Are there any other regions or players specifically that you are really going to keep your eye out for as somebody to keep an eye on
for the World Championships?
So I believe Italy is overall one of the very best regions. So in terms of complete regions, I don't think there is an high amount of single nations that can be as good as us. Japan is definitely the most scary one. And then there are some few players from, of course, also the United States are great. And then a few players from any of these continents that can be really scary. But I think the right mentality to play in Worlds is just to respect everyone, but fear of anybody. So just feeling like you can beat everyone if you want to be the best. And then, of course, this Worlds is also exciting because I think it's the first time ever that two players have the chance of getting the triple crown in a season. Because both me and Wolfclick won regional and international this season. So I would like to play against him this Worlds. Then, of course, he's most likely the best North American player. But I will not say I fear any specific player because you just have to aim to beat even the best.
That sounds like your prep is good. Your mental is exactly where it needs to be. Very strong heading into this Worlds competition. You've got your goal set of taking it home. Anything else you want to tell us before we send you off to Worlds next week?
Nothing specifically. Just I hope I'm gonna have a good time here. And of course, this is my first Worlds going into the tournament as not as an underrated player because Worlds 22 was my first ever tournament in Masters, and Worlds 23 I had a good season, but not insane. I made day 2 at almost every event I played, but never made deep top cut results. And then even if I made top 4 at Worlds 23, 2024 was my World season. So for some reasons, I was always kind of an underrated player going into Worlds, and this year, I know it's not going to be like that. So maybe this year I'm overrated. Who knows? So the way the other players consider me this year, it's different. So maybe also the way some people expect me to perform or the pressures that I might put on myself because of that might be higher. I just try to not make this influence me at any point and just play like I always did and not caring about this stuff.
I mean, a little bit of extra confidence, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of momentum probably does go a long way. Every bit helps. And I want to thank you once again, Federico, for taking the time to share your thoughts about the metagame and your prep with us. And I hope you have a good one, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what a great interview. I think that he is extremely aware that Italy is a strong region, has very confident in his read in the metagame, but did mention, that Japan would be another area of the world to keep an eye on for. And I know that, Joe, you've got a short list of Japanese players as well for the folks at home.
Yes, so let's talk about the Caparaja in the room, the elephant in the room here of the Japanese players. There's a superstition that in odd calendar years, Japanese players tend to win the World Championships, and they've only done it 5 times in 7 eligible odd World Championship years that we've had in our game's history. So it's kind of not a theory; it's kind of a fact at this point. I think the big hit this year is Hirofumi Kimura. Hirofumi, if those who don't remember, the Umbreon in 2019 in DC, they got second place. You can see some of the footage of it here. That Umbreon heard around the world, almost won the World Championships with that Moon Pokemon. He is arguably, I know Scott has a famous line, I think Hirofumi is arguably the greatest player in the world that has never won the World Championships at this point. The only Japanese trainer ever to win the to qualify for the World Championships for 6 consecutive years, which is very difficult to do in Japan. Amazing. Has top cut the World Championships 3 times, has won the Japan National Championships 2 times as well. Definitely a trendsetter. Huge pick for Hirofumi to in 2023 he lost to Shohei Kimura in Top Cut, who ended up winning the World Championship. So very likely to have a great job, or do a great job in Anaheim this summer. Our next pick is Yuma Kinagawa. He actually had a very strong performance at NAIC just a couple of months ago. Yuma finishing with a top 8, which was 1 victory short of a direct Worlds invite, qualification. So what does Yuma do? He just goes and wins Japan Nats to get the invite that way, right after NAIC. Great team. This Smeargle has just been so dastardly on his strategy, messing up everybody's day with those moody boosts and decreases. And I think Yuma is definitely a huge contender to win the World Championships. As another superstition, Japan national champions typically do very well at the World Championships the year they win Japan Nats. Obviously, Hirofumi got second. Shoma Honami won in 2015 when he won Japan Nats. Ryota won in 2017 when he won Japan Nats. So fingers crossed for Yuma. And our third Japanese player to watch out for is Kazuki Kobayashi, finishing top 4 in NAIC just a few months ago to get his direct qualification. Kazuki also top cut the World Championships in 2019. You can see him facing off against Hirofumi, losing in top 4 to Hirofumi and his Umbreon team. So I think those are there's a lot of great Japanese players that have never won. Like I said, there's been 5 different world champions from Japan, the most out of any country. All 5 of them have been in odd calendar years. I'm not saying, guys. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Pokemon Go, they talked about their brief history of the last couple of years. Pokemon Unite, they're just starting to figure out what might happen in a VGC tournament. You've got not only just like meta charts and like, you've got like history lessons laid out.
Superstitions,
you've got,
the phases
Ouija
of the moon.
board,
I hope Zoinks was able to keep up with the whiteboard. I hope he was able to write everything down.
Good luck to him on that one. There was so much to go over here, but also so much to gain. Whether you're just looking for some great games over the course of the week, you got to tune in. But we're also giving some stuff away to our viewers in the form of drops. So what have you got for us there?
Yes, we always like to celebrate our international champions and world champions, and this time around, we're going to celebrate with Luca Cherubelli's world champion Farigarath from last season on his Miraidon team with that electric seed boosting its defense. Farigarath always going to be strong, even if its stats, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big damage dealer, its support is massive, knowing Trick Room, knowing Helping Hand, being able to stop priority attacks from Pokemon like the Thunderclap on Raging Bolt or Aqua Jet on Urshifu, things, Fake Out as well, stopping Farigarath. This, of all the Pokemon, I know we've given out Gastrodon a bunch, and Lou picked up every one of them. Farigarath is one of the Pokemon that you definitely want to pick up this drop.
Well, and all you got to do is tune in and grab that code during next weekend's broadcasts, and it will be yours. Of course, a lot of us have been tuning in all year long to some great broadcasts. We've seen some amazing matches, some wonderful head-to-heads, but Joe, you've perhaps seen the most, and so we are going to allow you to designate the top favorite moment of the year. What is it?
I think this is probably on everybody's list. Wolfie Cone Parish. For those unfamiliar, Marco Silva wins LAIC, third time he's an international champion. He's on top of the world. Is he the best player in the world? And then he basically runs into Red at the top of Mount Silver, which is a Parish song Wolf in Toronto. He gets so excited to face Wolf that he sees that Wolf is using Parish Trap, which is Wolf's patented strategy. I think like 100% success rate in his career. He's won 3 regionals and an international championship with the Parish Trap strategy. So Marco, really give him a lot of credit to even force a game 3 because of how difficult that matchup was into Wolf's team. Arguably 2 of the best Western players in the world, if not the 2 best Western players in the world right now, facing off in the finals with those strategies. This was easily the best moment of the season.
I mean, when a top player like that can just get another win with his specialty, it's going to make for a great moment.
Absolutely. Lucky to have such great competitors, such great action in this scene. Joe, we're going to bring you right back for Q&A, but any final thoughts you want to tag us off on the VGC topic with?
Listen, Seltzer, Scarlet, permission to be hyperbolic in this moment?
Granted.
I think Championship Sunday, this is going to be the greatest Championship Sunday in the game's history. We're in the arena. We got all our games are peaking at the right time. If you miss out on Championship Sunday this year at Anaheim, either by being as a spectator or watching along at home, I don't know. You got to mix some priorities around because this is going to be the greatest championship Sunday of all time.
Oh, I think I'm right on board with you in that arena. All that energy focused on those games. It's going to be incredible. Thank you, Joe, for the preview. You get to stick around. We don't even have to send you away. We just get to bring everybody else back in now.
Get in here, everybody. It's time for Q&A. We've got times for a couple questions that we got from our audience at home, and Rachel has them to get us kicked off.
All right, we got our very first question, and we're gonna go. Let's start with things with Zoinks. You're most excited to see Pokemon, the Pokemon you're most excited to see used at Worlds. Go in your game.
This Pokemon's got a lot of buffs recently. It feels like it has maybe had half of meta spotlight. I think Charizard. Charizard has not had a fun showing at top level competitive in a while. I think it's going to be super fun to watch.
Wow, the only game where Charizard's not the superstar. Okay.
Charizard, you think it would get babied. It's definitely a favorite of the devs. We got Charizard also on the menu for TCG, but does that line up with your most anticipated Pokemon, Pablo?
No, it does not. I'm really looking forward to seeing Raging Bolt at Worlds. It feels like a disrespected deck, so I really hope it can take the haters down.
Okay.
Making Adam think. Sophia, what do you got for us in Go?
I'm going to go with Shadow Scizor. I think this is probably going to be the first Worlds that it's going to be really relevant. It kind of made a splash at NIC, which was its first kind of spot in the rodeo, and I think players really need to watch out for it just because of how high octane it is and how much damage it can do.
I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that one. You really sold us on your segment before. Joe?
I think for me, it's Lunala. Lunala as a secondary restricted partner with either Miraidon or Koraidon, or there's so many other different partners. It's really one of the strongest supportive restricted Pokemon that help enable not just the restricted pair, the duo, but other really powerful Pokemon like Ursaluna under Trick Room, stopping Wide Guard as well. I think Lunala, I'm very excited to see if it performs well again, like it did winning NAIC.
Okay, very solid answer. And now coming back around to Zoinks, aside from the Pokemon you're most excited to see, what Pokemon do you think in Unite is the most underrated?
Oh, underrated Pokemon. It's tough because things do get regional different a little bit, but a Pokemon that I think might be underrated.
Get on your soapbox, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think people have turned too far away from Inteleon. It's dominated for an entire year in our attack role, but this most recent patch, it's been getting slept on a lot. I think it fell off. I don't think it fell off that hard. I think it's still really, really good. So I think we're going to see a whole lot of snipe shots at this tournament. So if you take this tournament out of context for any of the other ones, that answer seems like not at all correct due to it not being underrated. But into this context, I think for some reason people are still sleeping on that Pokemon. So I'm going to put Inteleon.
All right. And Pablo, what's underrated right now in Pokemon TCG?
I want to say the Evolutions deck. It hasn't had a big win. However, it continually reached the top since the Journey Together set came out, and it almost got top 8 at NAIC as well. And it's definitely not a deck that is in anyone's conversation about the best deck. Yet it continues to do well. So I feel like Evolutions is very underrated right now.
Okay, I do like that answer as well. It does have a reputation as being very difficult to play, just like Inteleon. So maybe the world champions can maybe rise to the occasion. And Sophia, what's the most underrated Pokemon in Pokemon Go?
I think I'm going to go with Shadow Annihilate. Ever since it got Rage Fist, I think a little over a year ago for Community Day, it's been really good. But I think recently, because the energy generation on counter got decreased, people have kind of stepped away from it. But if you're building a team for Worlds this year, it's actually really easy to build super weak to Annihilate. So I think just having it on your team could really kind of condition your opponent to feel like they have to bring certain Pokemon.
And Joe Brown, bring us home. What's the most underrated Pokemon in VG right now?
Obviously, it's got to be that totally underrepresented Incineroar. You know what I mean? Just nobody taking advantage.
Really did
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I think a lot of people are expecting Zacian to do well as a counter meta restricted Pokemon. But with that Fairy Steel typing, it is very strong into Miraidon, who is the most used, highest usage restricted. Either it doesn't Terastallize, you hit it super effectively with Play Rough, or it turns into a Terra Fairy Pokemon and you hit it super effectively with Behemoth Blade. So if you have the right setup and you can pin Miraidon in a bad spot, I think Zacian is going to do pretty well.
Fantastic. I have to say thank you all so much for your answers, your insights, your breakdowns going into Worlds. I feel so much more prepared to watch the competition. I feel so much more ready to pick out players to watch and to understand the tide of battle. And I know whatever I'm not ready for, we've got an incredible talent team to take us through the action. So thank you all so much. We got Zoinks, Sophia, Pablo, and Joe. You have been wonderful, and we'll see more from our wonderful talent team as things kick off next week in Anaheim. Of course, you can tune in and that website, punch it in now. Just leave it open so you can jump scare yourself when it all kicks off 9 a.m. on Friday. That's worlds.pokemon.com. So we want to see you there. We want to see you in chat, picking up those drops, making sure you claim everything that we're giving away. And of course, we want to make sure you're enjoying the music too. So stick around after this. We've got a live preview, a listening party for our 2025 World Championship Pokemon soundtrack. And we've just got so much to look forward to, Adam.
It's been a fantastic show. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you once again to our panelists, our interviews, and our folks at home. Now, time to listen to some tunes, and we'll see you next weekend.
See you there.
We're going somewhere, and we're bringing all our friends. Adventure is in the air, and the journey now begins. The radio up and the windows down. Me and my squad will never back down. Gonna show the world how to get that gold. But first things first, baby, let the good times roll. Are you ready? Are you ready to put the pedal to the metal? Let the good times roll.
You ever have one of those perfect days? The sun is shining, the tailwind is pushing you, and things are going your way. You're finding shinies, you don't hit yourself in confusion, you land all your focus blasts. Yeah, I got a good feeling about today.
Wake up in the morning, grab a Pokeball. Got a feeling that today, I'ma catch 'em all. From my cap to the back, and I strap on my pack. Every challenge that I face is looking laughable. First things first, hit the mark for supplies. $Poké high because I'm winning every time. Know that on the route, folk trainers giving nine. Till they see me with my team and then they spin into the side. Hit that road and we don't run slow. Rare finds in the tall grass when I roam. Pressure's high and the cast race low, but I get 'em first try every time that I throw. Hit the gym, gotta flash the credentials. These leaders sleep on my potential, so I send my ace, I got a badge to claim. I got a feeling that it's gonna be a good game.
Nothing's gonna stop me today. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game. Nothing's gonna stand in my way. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game.
Gym to Jimmy, you know we flexing. Add another digit to the Pokedexing. Patches amaze like I'm getting my steps in. I'm holding the chest, so if you see me resting, I'm taking this league, man. It's pure domination, and we can run doubles. I got combinations. My PC is filled up, my strategies thrive. Like I'm one-shotting foes, I don't need no revives. Worked hard to prove this. Hall of Fame's on my to-do list. Tall grass stains on the brand new kicks, and I hold down B to the championships. Drop my foes and say, alone we fold, but a team goes ways, and the road back home's gonna feel so great. Got a feeling that it's gonna be a
good game. Nothing's gonna stop me today. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game. Nothing's gonna stand in my way. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game.
Then we'll see us dazzling and gleaming lights. Gonna show these trainers all we got tonight. Somehow I know everything will be alright.
I got a feeling it's gonna be. Yeah. Alright. Trainers all we got tonight. Gonna be alright. It's gonna be a good game. Nothing's gonna stop me today. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game. Nothing's gonna stand in my way. I got a feeling it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. That's us. Yeah. It's gonna be a good game.
I know there's something out there just past what I can see. I've got this crazy feeling there's so much more for me. Holding out my head, I can barely breathe. I can feel something reaching back to me, and it's so close now I can almost taste it. Just beyond, just beyond. It's just beyond my fingertips. Just beyond, just beyond. It's just beyond my fingertips. Just beyond.
I know I'm getting closer, headstrong as I make my way. This journey's not quite over. I can push on for one more day. Holding out my hand, I can barely breathe. I can feel something reaching back to me, and it's so close now I can almost taste it.
Just beyond, just beyond. It's is calling out to me. I have come all this way here and make my stand on the edge of my fate, almost in my hands. I'm reaching out, and it's so close now I can almost taste it. Just beyond, just beyond. It's just beyond my fingertips. Just beyond, just beyond. It's just beyond my fingertips. Just beyond. Now we're reaching the horizon and it's just beyond. When the walls are closing in and it seems like hope's all gone, take my hand and we together will see the hero inside us leads on. Though our fate remains unknown, and these doubts start clouds in our minds, deep within something has grown, and that's how I know we'll always find the will to fight. Oh, fight to chase the darkened skies till the morning light. Oh, I know what lives inside. In the heart of the hero, a flame burns ever long. In the heart of a hero lies the will to carry on. Unbreakable, unfakeable, always hid in the calm. Because the heart of a hero beats within us all. As the path we take unfolds, we will never lose our aim. Unto greatness we will ride till the world is crying out our names. So step into the light tonight. Take your place among the stars. It's your right. It's time to show what lives inside. In the heart of the hero, a flame burns ever long. In the heart of a hero lies the will to carry on. Unbreakable, unfakeable, always hid in the calm.
start from the beginning once again? Would it be worth it? Retrace every single step that led us to this very moment. Would you do it? Every high and every low, knowing just where the path would go. Every sacrifice we made, would you do it all again so we could stand up here and say, it's our time. We've been waiting so long, feels like forever. Now the moment has come, finally it's our time. We'll remember this day until forever. We can hold our heads high, come stand with me. It's our time. It's our time.
Look, let me take you all back to the scene of just a small town kid who believed. Growing up, I'd throw a ball against the wall and dream of making the league. So when I got to start to know, I really started a team. From the first loss to the first bash, up unarticulated what the words lacked. On the journey pushing forward to evolve with my friends, I look back at every battle and I do it again.
Every high and every low,
And again and again,
knowing just where the path would go.
all the way up to victory road.
Every sacrifice we made,
No regrets, yo, I live for the game.
traitors, let me hear you say, it's our time. We've been waiting so long, feels like forever. Now the moment has come, finally it's our time. We'll remember this day until forever. We can hold our heads high, come stand with me. It's our time. It's our time. It's our time. Every step and every scar, every wish upon a star, built the strength to chase the sun. We faced our fears, refused to run, from humble stars to dreams of glory high. Now our names echo across the sky. It's our
with the stories of champions and journeys searching for glory. But wake from your slumber, for now it's your turn. You've made preparations, studied and learned. You'll find partners to practice and mentors to teach you, friends to cheer on and those who'll defeat you. You win some, you lose some, cause that's how you learn. But every tough match is experience earned. Step out and face the world. Hey! champions by your side, new rivals before you from all the world wide. Set your sights firm on the battling grounds, where titles are claimed and champions are found. Almost within the realm of the victors, soon it could be you, my friend. Step out and face the world. Won't you step out and face the world? Hey, hey. It's been a long road, but soon comes the day you've reached the arena where legends are made. There's no room for doubt and no room for fear. Just think of the victories along your way here. Surrounded by veterans, the best of the best. You steel yourself now for this final test. You square to the challenge, excitement it swirls. This is your moment, my friend. Step out and face the world. The contest is fierce, the pressure's intense. Everyone's waiting, crowd in suspense. The end it approaches, a hush fills the hall. It's come down to the wire, but you gave